Right on time, right on time, right on time. Wait for my good brother Curtis King to drop on this thing. Just tap it in with him real quick. What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to Ronald Ross, man. First one in the chat, man. That's love right there. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. For sure, for sure, for sure. Let me see. Man. All right, man. What's good? What's good, man? What the deal? Chat, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Waiting to get this thing going. I was on live earlier, so trying to get my reps up and all that. So I got my good brother Curtis King, who's people don't know. We'll talk about that here, but people don't know that's like my mentor when it comes to like live streaming and YouTube content creating. I've been tapping in with my good brother for a while now. He's been lacing me with the game. So I'm waiting to get this convo started. I got some good topics I want to pick his brain about and tap in and see what he thinks about a couple of things. So it's gonna be dope. Let me see. What's up with y'all, man? How's your day going? Everybody smooth? Say oof, what up? Yep. Let me see. Good. Yes, sir. Good day. It's been a good day for me. I didn't do too much, but I've been having some good conversations on live. Talked to my brother Rios earlier. That's always a dope thing, So my man Curtis just fell up in this thing. Let's tap in and see my good brother talking about.
What's good?
Well, all right.
My apologies, bro. You know when you're trying to be in a rush and get somewhere, and then your phone start doing things it don't never do before. I clicked the link 4 times, and the phone was like, "I got nothing for you." So, my apologies on the delays and whatnot.
No, we all good, brother. Look, here's the thing. One thing, we real friends in real life, so you can do no wrong. Second of all, I wouldn't even be here in this space right now, doing what I'm doing right now, if it weren't for you also. So right. Another thing, you can't do no wrong. I was just telling the good people, I said, we talk about it. Talked about how you've been a mentor of mine in the space of content creating, really been lacing me with, just jumping in face first, head first, man, just getting it going, right. And tapping into, my potential that I've kind of been keeping under wraps for so long. My personality, my potential, all these things. So it's not. I did music for so long, but outside of that, I do so many other things. So right. I'm glad that you really helped me, like how to, first of all, get comfortable, get to doing your thing, the steps I should be taking, gear I probably should have, gear I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? So, and I appreciate you, bro. I just want to say that.
Well, I'm gonna offer some more advice. You might want to mute that the playback. I can hear myself.
Oh shoot! Let me do that.
You good. I just know that I'm the type person, as much as I can multitask.
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, I can. How do I do that? Hold up. Yeah, see, I'm learning in real time, people. Let me see.
It might be an echo cancellation.
Let me go to settings. Mm-hmm. We get it in real time, my good peoples.
Oh, come on, it's all good.
Echo cancellation. I just clicked on.
Yeah. Nothing. Okay, yeah. Wait a minute.
Come on, see? You see what I'm saying? You see? All good. People caught this in real time. Hey, there's a problem. Man. Curtis, do you know what the problem is? I do know the problem. I'll fix it. Okay, cool. Bam, it's fixed.
It's all good. Hello?
Yeah.
I don't hear nothing. I think we good.
Okay, good. We good.
Even if it is, I'll figure it out. But nah, man, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you trusting in me with that information, in terms of, like, it's a vulnerable place to be when you're starting out. And I know there's so many lessons that you'll learn firsthand that you really don't want nobody else giving you advice on. but you trusted in me, and I don't take that for granted. So I do appreciate you as well. But this is fun, bro. It's fun seeing you share the gems and all the wisdom you didn't gave us over the years. And I'm like, y'all don't know how much y'all are missing out on.
That's love.
Here now.
That's love. I appreciate you, bro. I do. So here's the thing I've been doing. What I always mean to do. When I did a couple of test lives, I did some dope interviews with not interviews really, just dope conversation with my good brother Rios.
Right.
It's my man Ace Boy Rios. He has a podcast. We have a podcast together. And he does an AM wake up show. He's up every morning at 5 a.m. like 5 to 8 doing. Yeah, I'm talking about dedicated, bro, going hard. So salute to him for that. And I've been talking to him. I had a good conversation with him. But what I always want to do is I always got to give the flowers first. All right. And then we'll get into a conversation. This isn't an interview style thing, right? I just wanted to pick your brain about a couple of topics that I picked up on social media and see what you think about these topics and what these people were saying. But first, let me say in front of the crowd, I do want to say thank you for being you. In this space, you're a very critical piece to whatever you want to call it, hip-hop media, media in general. You want to say live streamer, whatever you want to say, YouTuber, they call us a bunch of different things, right? But you've been a mentor, not to just myself, but tons of people. I watched you do lives with groups of people, and then people in turn in those lives who I deem like, on the top of their game, they look to you like, yo, I was looking at Curtis King when I was coming up, when I was doing YouTube. So I have to say, for you to be in this space, doing it for that long, and for you to make your gear shift, right? Because, it was a shift for you to go to YouTube and really full out do that. It's an amazing thing. It is very inspiring for the fact that you've helped myself. And I know there's somebody coming behind me and behind them that are also not only looking to us, but looking to you as well, to maybe find some dopeness in this content creating space. And you've helped them a lot in that space. And I just want to thank you and take my hats off to you for that.
Man, I appreciate you for being one of the rare ones in this industry that never hesitate to give folks their roses. Because, especially being from where we're from, it's not always a commonplace thing. So I appreciate that and I value that. But it's easy for me to do, especially when I realized when I came to the space of YouTube, it was so much information, but it was so much misinformation. It was so many people that I guess might have had a good heart in what they were doing, but they just lacked the experience. And then, when I made the pivot to YouTube, you gotta think like, and it's funny because I'm about to say a specific name. And it's so ironic too, because you just said Ace Boy Rios. Ace Boy Plum was like, nigga, what is you doing? Like, what is you like? You need to lock in. Like, what is you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking something here. Like, I want to sell beats and I want to get on YouTube. Yeah. And he was just not like, at that time, he wasn't really understanding.
For sure.
He gets it now. He's like,
absolutely. He 100%.
100%. But now it's been dope because what this introduced to me in my life is a philosophy. I could never have a bad day. I could just have a good day. Because every day I see like somebody on here. I see somebody on here that says like, man, you taught me how to count 16 bars. Long Beach Griffey said that. Long Beach Griffey said, I was trying to learn how to rap. And I learned from your video how to count 16 bars.
Wow.
And it's like, you never know. Hannibal Bears was another one. He was like, he was looking up something music related because he's an artist as well. And he came across my content. So you never know who these videos are reaching because the algorithm works in its own mysterious way. I hate the way that sounds like God, but I didn't mean it like that. I just thought about that right now. It works in a mysterious way. That's kind of wild. Huh? I'm sorry, God. No, God works in mysterious ways. His algorithm so does follows. So yeah.
It's funny when you said
with the promo too. You were talking about some man. I got the link in the bio. I got links everywhere. Oh. I was like, yep, he cooking now.
I thought about that, but I didn't want to record it.
Right.
It is what it is.
It's funny you brought this. Always win online. I just need to know that the intrusive thoughts will always win.
For sure. It's funny when you talk about 16 bars. To this day, I only know what 16 bars sound like. I never knew how to count 16 bars.
For real? What?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
One of the
I know
greatest
what it sounds like. I know what it sounds like when your verse supposed to stop.
Yeah.
But so I do it by sound, right?
I did
But
that too, because you look up at the producer like, hey, this more than 16, huh? Because this
yeah,
thing
for
been going
sure,
on for a long
100%.
time.
Already know, because I already know it is. Oh, he went over. I know what it sounds like.
You're like, I'm talking forever right now. What are we doing?
But I never actually counted out. I don't know. I just never. I guess I skipped that part. But
Yeah.
but man, I
what's
do want to
crazy?
tap in with you today. I got some dope topics. I think I want to tackle because so being that we've dabbled in the music industry and made our bones and done different things, right? And it's been so long, so the game has changed a lot since you've started to where you are now. Same for myself, right? And I was listening to this guy, this post I came across, and I don't know if you've seen the post. This guy was talking about management and managing fees. Mm-hmm. And if I can play the clip real quick, I'll let it play the clip real quick. Try to get this right because first time anyway. Here we go. Bam.
Hey, look at 50% of that business.
I'm trying to get it right.
Look, it's looking good. It's looking good.
All right, check this out. So this guy, who I heard is not Will Smith's manager, so whoever put that was just wrong with that part. But forget that part. Is what he said that I thought was interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Let's get into that.
Truth is, you deserve 50% of that business. If I come into a new artist, I have already my relationships. I already have the understanding of the business. I already have the knowledge. I'm not learning that with you side by side. If I'm an investor in a restaurant and you're the chef, you might know how to cook, but you don't know how to run a restaurant. I could put the money up for the location. I know how we're going to make it big. You just cook? Great. We're 50-50 partners. You cook, I run the restaurant. That's going to make us all the money. The partnership of manager and artist should be a real partnership because I'm putting the same sacrifice. I'm giving my same hours as you are. I'm late at the studio. I'm sacrificing my family the same way. I'm putting my own money in to pay my flights. You don't have money to pay me yet. Pushing you in every single way. I'm taking the fights. You're babysitting because a real manager solves the other person's personal problems on top of that. If the artist then blows up and becomes a weekend, then you can start lowering the percentage of a manager as that goes because now I don't have to chase so many opportunities. They're coming to us. Touring is all set. You know how to work in the studio. Your relationships are set. So now I become an investor, an operator. So I'm going to lower that level of percentage to match my duties and my jobs that I'm doing now. The first couple of years, the first contract should be 50-50. We should be us working together with one goal to build partnership, to build a business, an entity together.
So, very touchy subject for, we were artists. We both were artists. I'm sure we're done with our fair share of managers. I've also been on the other side of that where I would manage artists. Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear your thoughts on what was said about management artists 50-50 out the gate type thing.
Okay, so zoomed out point of view, and I'm not talking about him because I'm sure he's doing pretty well for himself, but it just reminds me about the industry. Niggas is broke. Mm-hmm. That's the quote. Niggas is broke. That's the quote. Not just niggas, it's everybody. Everybody. It just tell you how little money is being made because of this genius invention of streaming years and years ago. It's just so backwards. You want to split. You want to figure out how to. What I was always told is that you didn't need a manager as an artist until you had business to manage, right? So you're getting so much business flowing in because of the work that you've done independently, because of what you've done with your music, that you need someone to help manage what you have going on. What it sounds like is he's conflating the expectations of a partnership, which a management can turn into, but it doesn't start off like that with most artists. So the idea, I can only sympathize or even think from the perspective of artists who have had managers who didn't do jack shit and still took their 20%.
Yeah.
Now you trying to tell me 50% on top of that, and I don't know or can't confirm what you're actually doing now. Thank God, I had an excellent manager in a Salas, and he played ball. Not all managers are made the same, and not all managers are made to be partners. A lot of them are, it's going to sound cold, but a lot of them are bridges from one one place to another. Same way artists are for them, right? They're able to kind of fill out their resume, make a little money in the meanwhile, but 50% is getting egregious. And there's certain people that need to get, if you're gonna talk about getting a percentage, how about the engineers? How about the engineers that are in charge of one of the most important tasks of they translate your art as an artist to an audience that otherwise would not give it the same kind of attention and detail? Shouldn't they get more of a percentage before the manager does? Every manager is not designed the same. Now, I'm not sure who exactly he manages. I'm sure it's somebody that's very well known and elite. And perhaps he's talking about his best philosophy moving forward for him. But as I'm thinking about the kind of folks that's out here, I'll be damned if I let my cousin take 50% and he only giving me 10% of what he's capable of doing.
Now, first of all, I appreciate that thought process, right? That perspective. Hey, do it sound like I'm going another way?
It do. I know that prep. But it's like, I do appreciate your train of thought. However,
I know I will say this. So a couple of things. One,
right.
We only have the perspective that he gave, right? So if he said, if a manager is doing these things, right? So he's not talking about the manager who's not doing those things. So I've had my fair share of managers who just want to take 15% and you ain't done anything, right?
Right.
But he's not talking about that guy. He's talking about the guy who is doing everything, making all the phone calls, staying with you at the studio, probably there after you leave, and making the plays and do all these things. I've had I have really dope managers in my career since when I was doing music. So from that, if I'm looking at it that way, right, I'm always looking at it from, okay, the trash manager doesn't deserve anything, let alone 15, 20, 50%, right? But that guy who he's speaking of, look, here's the thing. There's been times when I know that at this point in my career, I just started doing my first maybe couple of shows. And remember, they used to pay us in bottles and at the clubs. And then, right.
Gas money,
like the first,
get some gas money.
Right. I didn't even drink then, right? But then they paid. Then I got to my first $200 gig, right? And $300, right? So at those points, it was hard knowing that the manager I did have that was doing all that stuff, that I had to give him $10 at the end of because he was 10% at the time.
Can I ask a relevant question about that?
For sure.
Was this before or after the riots you started in Long Beach?
Oh, this was after that.
Yeah, that manager deserved about 90%. I'm just playing. I had to say, go keep going. The amount of cleanup and the working he had to do after that. I promise you, my client. I promise you, my artist is gonna be really reliable. He ain't gonna start nothing around here. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
No, but first of all, that's hilarious. But it was for me, because I was the type of artist that it was hard for him to do so much. Give me these shows that at the time you could debate if I even deserve some of these spots. I don't mean like an artist don't deserve spots. I mean like there were some times he got me in some places, in some rooms, and on some stages of you'll be like, man, somebody had to pay for this usually.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody had to line for this show. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was times where I'm like, okay, how do he pay? He passed me $200, $300, and I'm passing him $20 and $30.
I'll get that.
For all the work he was doing. When for me, I don't have a lot of business going on. So he's on the phone, making moves, staying at the studio, and all I got to do is record. I'm not even moving around yet. I was at the same studio for almost, I don't know how many years before I actually start getting outside, really. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm like, man, because I used to have these conversations with artists about how, well, you're not getting anything yet. How does a manager get 20% of nothing? Right? I used to be on the artist side. And then I thought about that. I'm like, well, neither one of y'all got nothing. Y'all got to break up something when they come in.
Yeah.
And I'm literally doing more work than you, but okay, you're the talent. I get how that's how it works. I get it. But from that perspective of what my man was saying, I thought about that. I'm like, damn, like 50%, if you're going to do a 50% anytime, it should be the beginning when neither one of y'all have nothing. Because I don't feel bad about splitting up 50 off this 100, right? And I mean, hell, if now it's going to be worse when it get when it's 100,000, you got to split up 50,000.
Well, what about this? What about this? And you give me an idea too, because you're making a good point in that if somebody's giving 50% of the effort, especially if they're bringing you business that didn't priorly exist or business you couldn't get to because you didn't know how to do the emailing.
Sure.
I'm with you 1,000%. Why can't it operate on a sliding scale where it's you get 50% of whatever business you bring to me and 20% of whatever I give to you? I understand that from a place of we're partners and everything fitting on the line. That's just how it is. But also because of the nature of the business, there is no business if the artist doesn't create the music, right? The manager needs an artist to break that bread with, and hopefully it's an artist that's profitable to do these things. So I understand why that was originally created the way it is. But what you're talking about is a partnership. If you fronting more money than I'm putting in my own career, yeah, you deserve 50% down the line. But if it's in the beginning and folks don't have the money,
for sure,
how does that work? You know what I mean?
And I think that's the point. I'm looking at it like, and maybe I'm kind of looking at myself in that way where I knew what I was doing and what I had to and what I didn't have, right? But I only look at it like that is because of the perspective he gave. He said, if a manager is doing this stuff, like all these things he named, and you just the talent, I'm not being dismissive about the talent, but you are just recording because you ain't got nothing else to do yet. Right now, you can go out to parties, start to meet people and collab with artists and stuff because that's work too, and I understand that, right? But there's the other stuff that when I start getting money in your pocket or start putting you in front of people that you couldn't put yourself in front of, that's some value there that we need to talk about. We need to discuss. And yes, to your point about a sliding scale, I think that's an awesome idea, and I think that's partially what he's talking about also, a sliding scale. Here, let's look at it like this. If I was a financier guy and you were a chef, right? Now, you see where I'm going with this, right? It'd be different if I'm like, okay, well, you're a chef. You don't have no money or nothing like that, or you don't have the means to maybe get something going or a food truck or whatever. I'll buy that or I'll invest in that. And then you do all the cooking, right? You can have your thoughts on the layout and all this stuff like that. Right. But at that point, there's no way in the world I'm getting 20% of everything. You being a chef and I'm being the financier of it, because essentially that's what the manager is.
Yeah. Well, the arrangement is different, right? Because at that point you're the investor as opposed to I'm coming in to manage this already oiled machine. That's essentially what your manager is.
Right, if we both starting off broke, okay, we're broke. So that financier chef conversation doesn't even happen. Right. right. Because broke is broke.
Financiers in this situation.
Yeah, we both trying to rub pennies together, right? But as a manager, I know my manager didn't have a lot of money. But when we did split McDonald's, it was his money that did it. Or when I did get a ride to the studio, it was his car that paid for the gas to get me to the studio. So there's many other ways you can pay or you can pour into somebody that's not just actual dollars. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it from a perspective of, man, that's interesting. We both don't have nothing, but I'm making all kind of moves. And then let's say there's no money to spend.
Yeah.
And I bring in business. You still want me? How do I get 10% of that? Like I can argue I'm doing more than you.
Yeah. In a sense. Because your music would just live in the places it lives at if it doesn't have the reach of somebody.
That's it. If you don't get because you got to book the studio time, right? You got to book. At the time we didn't have. Well, back then when I was, there was no. I think DistroKid. I think they had forgot the old distribution things, but we didn't know how to use it. Right? We didn't have none of that to be putting out our own music. We wasn't on SoundCloud like that. It wasn't on SoundCloud, I don't think, at that point. But there was no way to really get our music out there unless you was burning CDs, trying to sell like that, So a manager that was running around putting your CD in front of people or in these offices, I remember, short story. I remember my manager was at a club, old manager Drake. Shout out to Drake. He's a photographer now, which is crazy. But very successful too. He was at a club and found a two-way pager. And that two-way happened to be some exec.
Mm-hmm.
My next 30 or 40 meetings came from the numbers in that phone. That he found a two-way that he found at the club. Right, here's what he would do. No lie, I'm not even lying to you. He would call people or call a secretary or whatever and tell them like, yo, we got a meeting with Bad Luck today at 2:00. Well, I don't see you on the board nowhere. It's like, man, I'm already in the area. I mean, do we reschedule? Dude, my next 20, 30, 40 meetings came from that dude doing that.
That's crazy.
From a phone that wasn't his.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so for me, I'm like, damn, that's a lot. Bro did a lot. And to take that initiative to hustle like that. Now, mind you, these are rare occurrences where, well, not rare because there are good managers and bad managers.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was really a different way to view it because if the circumstance change, I don't mind a partnership. Yeah. I don't mind splitting the bread up. I ain't got nothing now. I'm saying like at this point of being a starving artist, so I don't mind splitting the bread up. And when it gets, like you said, if it gets to a point where you're a bigger artist, more things are in play, you done learned the game. Now that's a sliding scale. Now you slide back that percentage because I don't have to do so much because you're basically setting your career. Right. And my percentage slide back down because all the stuff I did do,
well, I was going to say to Don Dub, shut up, my guy Don Dub in the chat. He made a point of the manager was never intended to finance. I think it's a good point in that should be something established in the very beginning. I'm coming to manage your business. If you need me to do extracurricular things that involve me taking money out of my pocket, then we need to renegotiate what that percentage looks like because I need to get my money back somehow, some way. To me, now we're talking about the scale is sliding because you got to pay back on debt like that. And I think that's the dangerous thing sometimes about our genre in doing like, doing homie business. Sometimes it's like, I got you. No, I got you. I got you. I got you. And it's like when you don't ever look at the tabs on that, somebody at some point is going to look up and be like, yo, where did all my bread go? Or where's my bread going? Where is it leaking to? And then when you finally figure out, it's like, damn, all of them trips to the studio, all this really do cost something. I think from the very beginning, if you say, look, I'll come be your manager. I'll be the best manager you could think of. And as I bring you business, I will get my 20%. However, like most artists, if you get in a situation where you need some extra help financially, I'm in a position to do that. But those kind of managers are like 1 to 2 percentile. For
sure.
And then I also, just to your other point, I see the flip side of it in that I've seen the the relationship of an amazing artist and amazing manager and a terrible artist in terms of they're great when it comes to music, but damn it, when it comes to like, yo, did you send me those press photos? Okay, yo, did you hit this person back that needs you to get to them directly? Yo, did you go shake so-and-so's hands at an event or whatever the case may be? You get a lot of artists now that are so distracted by all these different things that don't really matter in the big picture. And as a manager, I can imagine it being so frustrating that you like, F that, I need to get 50% because I don't know how we ever getting money back.
Right. I think that's I think in that case, it's not like a right or wrong in that sense. First of all, it's all what you agree to, right? And contractually, if you do put something like that in contract, it is what it is, right? If someone agrees to that, if I come to you with a partnership because I think that what you do is dope, and I got the hustle to get some things done to meet you halfway, then I can discuss the partnership. I put the quote on I put that comment on the screen. My man Don Dub said manager was never intended to finance. And yeah, for sure. But a lot of them do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For sure. He's not wrong, right? But a lot of them do. I've been through enough managers to know that if it got to get done, somebody got to pay for it. If the artists don't pay for it, I know where the money coming from.
Yeah.
Because they'll find it or use it or they, you know what I mean?
That's got to happen. That conversation got to change, I feel like, after that point. Because at that point, you're saying, all right, I'm going above and beyond the expected duties. Because I've always been told if a manager asks for anything more than 20%, you're getting scammed. Right?
For sure.
That's what I've been told from day one. But I also wasn't told the follow-up is that if a manager is going above and beyond and actually financing this as an investor, you can't go get a loan and not have a loan payback plan, right? You can't go get working capital and not have some kind of plan to get that back to them.
Right.
So, yeah, no,
And
I think
here's another thing too.
it changes, yeah.
But here's another thing too, right? A manager, you can be fired.
True. Unless you got a contract,
there's
right?
nothing to protect me on the other side of that.
Right.
Like you, like I can be, it could be 20%, 15% all day. If Curtis King wake up one day and be like, or just meet some dude at lunch and he done talk you out of your manager, then I'm done.
Yeah.
And everything I've spent and all that stuff is done with it. So not to say that whether it's 50% or 15% is foul to get done like that, but it feel a little sweeter at 50% than 15%. I'm not arguing just for the 50%.
Sure.
I'm saying that I can kind of see how that can make sense depending on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've been on both sides where I've been a manager. I was early on in Airplane James' career where I was coming on, and I wasn't gonna do no whole give me 15% of some. You got $100, you gonna give me 10 of it? Yeah. If you don't keep that 10, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Because because I know what it is to also be a starving artist.
Mm-hmm.
So taking away 10 or 15 or $20 to give to somebody after you just got 100, that's a lot. That's a chunk out of your money.
Yeah.
You know, and then where do you, and a lot of managers don't make it the distance to get to where the money actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well,
by that time you got fired.
I also think that artists got to also step up and know when it's time to pocket and know when it's time to take care of home team. Right. I never forget, like when I had a great team at one point in time where shout out to the homegirl Sade. She was my PR that came through Salas. Salas was my manager.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Ed was DJing for me at that time. And I never forget, I did a show where I was, one of the co-headliners. I brought Ab Soul out and everybody. And when I got paid, I told him, I said, I'm not taking no money home. I said, I want to say thank y'all because
wow.
Every step of the way, y'all made sure that, did you talk to this outlet yet? All right, come on, Curtis. Sade was like, come over here. And I was like, cool. And she came to the event in my shirt. I didn't ask her to do that, but that's something that you do when the show.
Support.
I saw that kind of effort as an artist. I felt like I had more power than what you traditionally hear artists talk about. And I said, I feel like that gesture might go a long way, especially because they have other clients. They'll think, you know what? Not that Curtis is going to do this every time, because I'm not going to do it every time. But the fact that I would do that lets you know that, he is just as invested as we are. Because a lot of artists, they kind of have this, they have a main character issue because they are the main character in a lot of these circles, right? But that also has a way of ruining business relationships when you're not able to cut that off and be like, all right, what does the human in me think is the best scenario here? And I feel like that gesture at that time meant a lot. Even though it wasn't a whole lot of money, it was really the gesture. Like, I'm going to really break bread because I know the real money is yet to come. You
start to feel like that support that's showing up for you as an artist, that's showing up for an artist, starts to feel rare, right? It starts to feel like, because I don't see it a lot. Even when I was in and out the game, both feet in doing my thing, I didn't see the artist who actually liked the person, not looked at them as a product.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I've had a couple of managers that were just like super business, but the other one were homies who know how to hustle and wanted to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like people that was like, yo, let me manage you. I'll figure it out. And then you watch them do amazing things by just learning, like in the field, knowing how to, they understand that, okay, if he don't eat, I don't eat. What I got to do to make something happen.
That part.
You know what I mean? And then kind of, you made a comment earlier about, I was told that managers, if you get more than 20%, you're getting scammed or robbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that's also could be considered old school music business stuff.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And it's the thing we learned. It's like the game has changed. And then what does that say about the game, right? Where if if 20% is the old format or whatever the case may be, and we lived and died by that, right? So we can't tell the new artists the scammer part when some people may be getting 50 out here. Maybe somebody is doing that,
right?
The 50% partner thing, or managers. To Don Dub's point, maybe managers are being more financiers than just hustlers moving around. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. There was a point in time you sound crazy to try to ask for my show money, and then 360 showed up. Right.
I need a show. I need that. I need that roll. I need that roll. Roll you got. I need whatever got your name on the merchandise. I need it all.
Remember that was a big, huge thing with Nas. Remember Nas was, I think it was, I don't know if he was switching labels at the time. I forgot what happened. Switching labels or something. And they tried to get him to sign a 360 deal. He's like, nigga, I'm Nas.
Like, what do you mean? Sign a 360?
If there was a statue of hip hop somewhere, it's probably gonna be him.
It's probably gonna be him. Yeah. I say now they handing out Tony Hawk deals. I call them 720s. They Tony Hawk deals. Handing out Tony Hawk deals. Now they like, I need to double dip in all of that again and pause if applicable.
Let me ask you this: are you opposed to, not for yourself, but the 360 deal?
From a business standpoint, I think it's genius. From the standpoint of, you know, being able to benefit off of you being a machine and having a hand in the success of every one of these avenues. Some of these artists they're not even looked at as possible movie deal or movie stars until the label does their job of raising the visibility around them. Right. However, I do think that there is always a fine line in which it starts to become, you know, more predatory and more like a loan shark. And that's where it starts to get nasty. But at the same time, if you have walked yourself through a label, you've already kind of walked in there with some kind of an expectation that, you know, I'm not trying to be too colorful in my language here. You went with the expectation that you're not going in there to make love. Right.
Love
is to be made to you.
For sure.
Whether you like it or not. So it ain't love. It ain't love, by the way, neither.
Right.
But with that said, you kind of know going in there that, okay, this is their business, this is what they specialize in. All right, I just want the visibility so I can leverage that for a better deal or leverage that for an independent journey afterwards. But don't get it twisted. The big dogs are the big dogs because they got the Rolodex full of people. They got their relationships.
Yeah.
Get you on late night TV. They'll get you, you know, the big outlets that you can't get to as an independent artist at times. So, you know, they need that money and buck because they don't give a damn about no relationship as much as they care about, you know, are you going to return this loan that I gave you? And this crazy thing about it is when you said that, you know, about the idea of the percentages, I'm like, that happens all the time on Shark Tank.
For sure.
Right? Where they like, okay, especially Mr. Wonderful. That's why he never get no deals.
Right. Yeah.
You know what? Don't even worry about the million you want. I just want in perpetuity. And I'll be like,
perpetuity.
Yeah, for real. And I'll be like, well, I know, you know, some of these terms I don't know them a whole lot, but I know when I hear that, I'll be like, oh, nope, don't do it. But that being said, I think that's as a business is genius. As an artist, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell unless I'm one of those artists that says, okay, I'm going to leverage this for something else. But my thing is this: time is passing no matter what. Yeah. And I would never judge anybody for making the moves they made because it got them where they got them. But for me, I know my personality and I know that I'm likely to clash in a situation where I don't have artistic autonomy or where I don't have the freedom to do the things that make my art better, right? The freedom to work with anybody that I want to work with, no label situations or conflicts. For me, you dipping in everything that I have the skill set to do, I still have to have a skill to get acting roles. I still have to have a skill to, you know, have appropriate merchandise. I got to create this imagery that feeds into this merchandise. There's no way in here I allow that to happen. But, you know, my grandma used to always say, the more you know, the more you owe. And I feel like that's one of the situations where like I owe myself more if I know more about these situations. It's
funny, man. I can't hear you speak. I can't. That's a great point too. Also, I do want to leave with that first. I can't turn my rapper brain off. When you said it got them where it got them, there's a Batman punchline right there somewhere. I was like, ooh, that was a bar. I could have flipped that to something, but but yeah. Yo, you know what? And I want to do too. I'm gonna say this first of all. I don't even think I should be saying this because I thought about this and I said to myself, if I say it, I got to do it, and I don't know if I'm ready to do it. But I think it's so dope and interesting watching you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know the what's the thing you do with the artists come in and y'all make music on the spot?
Oh yeah, the music critiques, the critique my beats.
But somebody comes in and make a song, right?
Oh, you talking about? Oh, that's something different. You talking about? That's called Flocation. That's where
Flocation. I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think I want to do one of those.
You gonna come on an episode of Flocation? Look,
I think, bro, because
you gonna come on an episode of Flocation? Look, don't.
I think that'll be.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me because I'm gonna get excited. Don't do that to me.
No, I do. I think because I'm like, man, because the itch and the bug is always there.
Yeah,
and I'm already comfortable with you. I know I'm not comfortable with a lot of people because they be trying to, and they don't respect my change and life change and stuff like that.
Of course.
But I can be who I am, create dopeness, and be able to create dopeness in a spot like that where I'm being creative. I'm pushing myself to be creative on the spot in front of people. They can see my process. Me and you can work together. That'll be a thing.
First of all, what's the way tell Kanye? We could turn all these cameras off right now. I don't care about none of this. Like if you told me like I want to work on this, but no live stream, peace out.
I think.
Have a good day, but
I think I'm gonna say it, bro. I want to do a Flocation with you, bro.
Let's go, man.
I like. First of all, I like that. I do like that. If I had my Arigato thing, I could have did an applause right there. But
I got
shout out to Justin Hunt. 9 second applause. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say it out loud. So just so I know I said it and people heard it, I would love to do a Flocation with you, and that'll be a way for me to jump back in there where I still feel safe around good people and be able to create something dope with dope people.
First of all, I appreciate you even putting that out there in the world because I'm seeing folks in here right now that are like, man, let's make it happen. They looking forward to it. Me being able to be in a position now where, coming up, I would talk to you and I would get game. I would talk to, the maestros, I would get game. I would talk to the fact that I'm talking to Soul, even though we was around the same age, he would still get a lot of the wisdom from the industry. But even him hitting me up and being like, man, I love what you're doing because I know where the heart is at it with it. Talking to Ali the other day, he kind of had a warning like, man, I really don't want to get into none of the nonsense about all the stuff circulating. I want to talk about these entrepreneurs. I said, bro, first of all, I want to see you win.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
not trying to create another platform where
not trying to get your voice on. Yeah, none of that. Yeah,
I'm not the clickbait moments for my audiences, which is why I love my community so much. Is the clickbaits is the gems. They're really in here looking, even if they're not artists themselves, they're looking for those moments that's like either hilarious as hell or stuff that's like, damn, I never really thought about it from that point of view. I have my dog, he goes by Najin Gold, but he used to go by Grim, and he brought the story up talking about he's like, oh, talking about the homie J.O., the one I told you about that put me on to your music. And he's like,
oh, right, yeah, for sure.
And we was talking about that story about how J.O. put me on to your music. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's back when he was cripping. I said, what? He was like, you didn't know that? I said, I kind of did, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that I get to do this in front of 200-something people at a time is a dream come true. Because I'm like, I remember doing these live streams, and shout out to the homie Triz. He would come through when it was only like 40, 50. And I say only loosely because I still value those people. But now,
for sure,
I get to tell West Coast stories, and y'all want to be here. Who cares what the bridge was? You hear? Come on. And then you get to see them in their element too. Like, how many times you gonna see? I didn't know Maestro didn't write. And he came in here and did that whole process. But with you, bro, it's funny because somebody just mentioned, they said, man, it'd be crazy if you can get luck on something like this. I said, man, I ain't bothering nobody, bro. I ain't bothering nobody. But let me know, man, for real.
Hey, man, it's just a testament to who you are as a person, because bruh, I've been getting tons of phone. We talked about that. I've been getting tons of phone calls anyway, especially after that shout out. That was a whole nother wave of phone calls, and I ain't moved for nobody because it don't feel right. It don't feel like, and they don't love it like I do. I think a lot of people just like they just want they trying to get cracking, quote unquote, whatever that means nowadays, right? They trying to get something going, and for me, I'm just like I would love to just rap and create something dope and let that live wherever it's gonna live.
Right.
Let that just be. It's like I do a dope painting, and I don't care if it makes it to the Louvre. Mm-hmm. What if somebody want to put up in their house and it lives there?
Or what if you woke up today and you just want to make something? Like
you want to make something dope.
That's the luxury that I do not take for granted, especially in this space. Is that no matter where I'm at in life, I will never stop creating. Because that's what feeds me into doing these reactions and these stories. The reason I even care to go through paperwork of a UMG, it ain't because I ain't never hog tie nobody. I don't care about no paperwork. But the reason I got all this energy is because I just cooked up the night before.
Right.
I ain't never hog tie nobody. Now I get to get right back to this. Oh, let's talk about it. Like, if this is what's gonna make you guys care that I'm creating.
That's easily one of the funniest quotes of all time, bro.
Because he's saying it. I never hogged nobody.
Why he look right in the camera too?
Why would I hog tie somebody? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just my mind is working sound bites. I've been streaming every day. I apologize. My wife is like, you got to turn the sound bites off. I'm sorry.
Yo, I want to play you something. Another clip I had downloaded is I don't know. The clip's not long, is it? I don't think it's long, but I thought it was cool because it was about it's an industry tactic. It's kind of like artists or managers or promoters use different ways to get something going, get some hype built up or something going. Now, I've never heard nobody doing this, which I thought was interesting. We've done a bunch of things to get something going. You didn't pay people, did a bunch of stuff, but I never heard it this kind of way. What this artist did to get their band in certain spaces, right? So let me play this for you real quick.
Okay, bet.
No real fan base. No one's ever really heard of them. Yet she just saw that they've sold out a 10-day. Saw a video posted by this manager named Liz. She has another manager friend that works with an indie rock band with relatively no Spotify monthly listeners, no real fan base. No one's ever really heard of them. Yet she just saw that they've sold out a 10-date tour in 10 different markets with 200 capacity venues. So she's scratching her head like, what the fuck's going on here? How is this possible? So she approaches her manager friend and she's like, hey, I know that there's like 200 capacity venues on this tour. I see it's sold out, but like, how many tickets can your band actually sell? The dude says 50. So she's like scratching her head like, well, then how are we selling out? The guy hired seat fillers, paid $4,000 a show, $40,000 for the tour, to basically fill the additional 150 seats in every city. Now you're thinking, this is crazy. Why would you ever do that? Well, how would you ever make your money back? The band got picked up by a bigger booking agency and now is opening up for a major act on a national tour. Like, the music industry is not a real place.
They for sure hog tie somebody. They for sure. I hog tie somebody.
I thought that was super creative.
It was. And it is.
So here's the thing. So if you're gonna, first of all, in this industry, outside of independent, that is independent. That's independence. You got to spend the money somewhere, right? You're gonna spend the money somewhere. And one thing we know is the music industry did not start before the money was being spent, right? It all started at the same time. When the music industry was invented, payola started, right? That's it all started in the beginning, right?
The reason right there.
Yeah, it wasn't like it came on later on. Like, no, from the beginning, palms were getting greased, as they would say.
Movie payola is straight.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I thought that it's like even with the Drake lawsuit and stuff like that, and people they paying the streams and stuff like that. The whole time I'm sitting back like, I mean, ain't that what radio and the streaming? And I thought we all kind of knew that, but the civilian didn't know that, right? But to that guy's point about the story, I thought that was a genius way to get your artist in front of the right people. And if it costs $4,000 to get him on the stage with whatever band is super big and dope,
he said 40,000, didn't he?
Or 40, whatever. However, if you got 40, you got it. That's
you got like that. What you mean? Whatever, 40.
I said you got 40. Very key word. If you got 40, spend the 40. But here's the thing. I feel like the dollars were calculated beforehand. Meaning, if he understood he was spending 40,000, he knew the return on that was double or triple that, right? And if the return on that is you're on a big tour with Metallica, or you doing U2 final tour, I don't know. I'm trying to make up something, whatever. But then at that point, it's like, is it worth it? Did you skip steps from getting to that process, or what steps did you skip? Were they important? Did you need to know what it costs to take to get there the long way? You know what I mean? And in this game, a lot of times, maybe not so much. I would love to me talking to you about content creating. One thing you told me is that I went through all the things so you don't have to.
Yeah.
I went through all the mistakes, buying the stuff. You know what I mean? So you don't have, so you do not have to do it.
Hog tying and all
right? Essentially, you're my shortcut. Here's the difference. I happen to know you as a friend, a longtime friend of yours, right? But if I was just a guy on YouTube, I could pay for that, right? I could be in one of your master classes, or I'm sure you got something going on. You all linked into the content space. There's a level or something, Curtis King Platinum something.
I'm trying to transition out of it. Well, that's another story, but I'm trying to transition out of it. I'm enjoying being in this media space and less in the teaching space, but that's another story for another day.
No, okay. We'll definitely talk about that too. I do love to hear about it. I think what's crazy, I think it's so it's hard to look at it any other way.
Well, edutainment gives me the vehicle to still scratch that itch, right? Through doing these videos where evidence, always got one of my favorite quotes of putting the vitamin in the brownie. I feel like that's kind of what this is that I'm using entertainment as a way to say, oh, you don't know what punching in is. Okay, let me explain this to you. And it's like, I can still, or you don't know what direct to consumer is. All right, let me break this down for you. But using that, like I have a second channel content for. Yeah, I have a second channel. I'm supposed to be putting tutorials on, and I'm really enjoying being able to have these cultural conversations. Not to mention, my audience went from 95% males and 5% women to now like 60-40. I like it here.
Yeah, you can't.
Conversations
can't be mad at that.
It's more balanced. It's you know, the ironic thing, when it was 95% males, it was more catty.
Curtis told me the YouTube Gold Pack.
I saw you like YouTube Gold Pack. That's crazy. Why does it sound like a scam? Why does it sound like a scam? Why you do that, Don Dub? I ain't seen nobody know you. I ain't never hog tied nobody. I ain't seen nobody know YouTube Gold Pack. But no, like I just say that to say, like, for the context of the conversation.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one, bro, because I do feel like, well, you know, my brain probably went after I heard the full story. I said, okay, I hope they documented it. Because I hope so. If you had a video that said, here's how I went from being an unsigned artist with only 2 followers on Spotify to being signed and having having a sold out shows in less than 1 month or only $40,000. And guess what? The funniest part about it is, I still don't got no fans. Let's get to it. I'll watch that video.
Right.
But if you, the whole idea, like I detest fake it till you make it. Not because I don't believe it's true, but because I'm like, I don't want nobody to lie to me. I don't like, even if we get that off and we get a deal and we get the money, how do I know when it's ever real?
Yeah.
The terms that we deliver this on, and I believe in, like, maybe not karma, but I do believe in you reap what you sow, right? I do believe that if you got it like that, you're going to lose it like that, just as easy. in an unrelated situation, just on a spiritual level.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there is a skill to being crafty. There's a value to being crafty. But I'm looking at that and I'm like, $40,000 definitely could have went towards something else.
He said 40.
If he said $40,000, that's what I'm saying. It could have went to source something else. I say this: forget playlist pitching, forget all that. What if we just did a tour of smaller venues with the capacity? Say you only have 20 fans in these different cities. Find yourself a space that can support your band and then sell out every one of these little small places and then incentivize it. I don't know if you got drinks. Well, then damn it, the first 30 people that come in here get a free cranberry and vodka. Come on in and have a time. Like, to me, I value that kind of marketing more because it's not trying to pull the wool over not only the eyes of the audience, but of folks who are doing business. I would be pissed to the highest level of pistivity if I just signed you for 1.2 million just to find out you was paying for seat fillers.
Yeah.
I thought you was the product I thought you was. Now we gonna fix some things, but you ain't supposed to be doing our game. That's our game.
I'm about to say I have now become you.
I become but and we gonna always be a better you than you.
For sure. Drake and Steph finding that out the hard way.
We got the lawyers. What you doing? You ain't supposed to water down water. We supposed to water you down.
That's why Drake's sitting back like, oh, they're good at this.
But you know the stupid thing about him, and I'm never gonna bite my tongue. I ain't trying to get your channel in trouble, but that's a dumb boy. He's so stupid. He's so stupid because every time he think he telling on somebody, he start telling on himself. This nigga said, I demand to see Dave Free's contract and Kendrick Lamar. Because without a doubt, I know that there's something in there that, wait a minute, how you know all of this about somebody's contract? Right. You know that's confidential information. Why were you worried about the people that were in your favor not working for UMG anymore? Wait, how you know about these different things that Spotify supposedly does when they've shown unfair favoritism with you in the
pure
past?
Crash out.
You keep telling on yourself. I remember people like them. What is you doing?
They say ego blinds you. And his ego, could you imagine having that big of an ego and then it essentially be knocked down in a year?
8 months.
You still couldn't fly right. You'll still be in a position where you couldn't fly right.
Yeah.
Which we're watching someone literally crash out.
In front of everybody. He think we can't see him when we see him. I see your dumb ass. I know what you're doing. What are you doing?
Here's the thing. In his world, unless he's going through comments, he can't see none of that. He's surrounded by his ego. Look, you have encased yourself in your ego. You've built a prison in Toronto, the whatever the house is called. The embassy is a prison of your ego. And you sit in it and you're surrounded by other people who are pouring into your ego daily. These people are watching you lose a battle while telling you still got it.
No, the funniest part about all of that, when I think about the embassy, look, this is the funny. I ran through all of the different check marks because we covered a lot of stuff about his house that I wish I didn't know. But let's follow this. Do you know how many Kendrick Lamar lyrics he's surrounded by right now? Let's think about this for a second. The Tupac ring. Probably don't wear that too often anymore because it's got
right. You got to remind it of that line, right?
You got a Tupac ring. Then he got a Tupac toilet ringtone. Every time one of his toilets flush, it plays California Love. I don't know if you knew that. He talked about that on Rap Radio.
I did not know that.
And Yachty said he heard the same thing. He got a cat named Crody. Tell me you're cheesing, fam. He got a cat named Crody. Bro? He got a cat named Crody. He got a cat named Crody. This Kendrick did psychological warfare. This nigga can't walk around his house. The embassy about to get raided. It's only a matter of time. He got embassy on the front of his house every time he pulls up. You just know. Look. Yeah. I speak high yellow. I understand sometimes the way that he speak fluently in high yellow. So I don't speak fluently in Canadian high yellow. That's a little bit different. But I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact when Kendrick said, he said, F a rap battle. This is a long life battle with yourself. I just know somewhere in that house, he said, what you mean by that?
For sure.
And look at what's been happening.
Well, you seen the DMs that got leaked. Were they real?
I did. Well, I don't know. I didn't do no story on it, but all I know is they real enough.
Yeah, because he definitely heard everything, which I knew he heard everything. Mm-hmm. I just know when you're dealing with an ego of that magnitude, you are blind. Now, obviously, you hear the songs, you see, because the ego also lets you peek your head in and see what's going on.
Right.
The problem is you won't allow yourself to see defeat in it.
Mm-hmm. You think you want to even be losing. Yeah,
that you lose, right? You'll look out and see, but you still told yourself, oh, you the man, or he's this, or he's whatever, right? It's the same thing happened with Pusha T. You still to this day are telling yourself that I pulled back because of whatever. We know the phone call was made.
No, we know why you pulled back. Yeah, you know damn well, and it ain't what y'all talking about.
It ain't like So it's to watch him at this level. Essentially, here, man, we're watching. I may be extra out here, but we're essentially watching. This is Gotham, right? And we are watching two villains crash out. Watching Kanye on the opposite side of that, right? And Drake. We're talking about massive egos. They may be the biggest, other than Hove. But Hove is a little more controlled, right? We the biggest egos in the game. That one craves attention, and I'm not the Kanye West that they knew me to be, or they believed me to be. I'm not that Kanye West anymore. And another, like, oh my God, I've been seeing somebody cover me.
Yeah.
Which is Drake. Right? And they're losing it. How do I get back what I just lost that year? The problem is you've been exposed naked. Pause. But that's what so we see you now. So there's no amount of covering up you can do. Right?
Your antics through all of that. Yeah.
It's done. When 50 first attacked Ja Rule, right? First of all, it was a slaughter, right? And then Ja Rule made the first honk he made out of that battle, that situation was clap back, right? And we were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If you don't go grab J-Lo and do another record or something, what are you doing?
Keep that. Boy, didn't he kind of low key do that when he did the Grease video, the Grease theme video with Ashanti? He was on the he was trying to balance both of those, but I think that
lost in the sauce.
When I revisited that, first of all, let me just say justice for Ja Rule. I'm pushing that right now. Justice for Ja Rule, because I really feel like I allowed these G-Unit niggas to come in here and change my whole opinion on Ja Rule. And
we all did.
We
all did.
We drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, I ain't the only one. But when I realized it, I was like, he ain't never sued nobody. Matter of fact, you know what he did after all of this? He made an 8 to 10 track album with the animated version of him with nothing but diss songs. He made an album of diss songs. But at that time, he was already kind of done into the game, because not only did he sell less than 50, but he sold less than what he sold the last time he was out. So it was already looking like, from an industry standpoint, like, oh, you're on the decline. From a fan standpoint, they're already looking like this massive embarrassment, but he didn't go sue nobody. He ain't go sue nobody. He did the fire. He didn't hog tie nobody, but he did the fire.
Yeah. That was a lot. I think they're also another thing that we got to get back to Dot, right? That you can tilt your hat off to is Dot. Not only did he exhibit psycho-esque assassination, right, but also there's a ridiculous amount of control. To when I don't move because of any of you guys. I move by when I want to move. I'm running the plays I want to play.
Facts.
And I don't respond to anything. Right. And I know he did the battle, but what I mean by that is the games and the tricks and the jokes. Right. We watch a professional go to work. And though we're excited and blown away by Euphoria and Not Like Us and all these records, right? I think the biggest part of it was his control.
The whole way through.
The whole way through.
You didn't get to hit him up.
Bro, they tried to force him on when he should. So you got 2 days, Kendrick. It's been 3 days, Kendrick. It's been 4 days, Kendrick. You still on the clock.
Nah. No backing out now. All that.
Bruh, the conversations that were had offline.
Ridiculous.
And here's the thing. I used to do that in the streets in real life. When it comes to battling niggas, jumping out niggas, East Coast niggas, West Coast niggas.
Oh, I heard about
real time in real life.
I heard about you at the pit. I heard about you at the pit.
I got a bunch of scars from doing all them battle stuff, right? But none of us, anybody talking to Kendrick, anybody connected, none of us even had an inkling of what he was actually going to do. And though we had ideas on what he probably should do, he didn't do none of it. And all of our ideas in comparison sucked to what he did.
Well, that's why I concluded it was just going to be a masterclass. You go back to them first videos. I said, all right, he's using patience is what I told people. But I said, He making me nervous now because I'm like, it is some time to pass by. And I know there's a certain window of time that the energy is high, but he did like somebody who's a master of the 48 laws. He waited and he waited and his silence caused a sense of uneasiness and terror in his opponents, because when you see academics tweeting, when you see Drake attacking his manager, you see him trolling with the community college, the community college sweater, like when you see all this stuff going on, you start realizing like, oh, you're doing that because you can't sit still, because you don't know what he's about to do. And you've never seen him in this environment. We've seen you do your thing with Pusha T and Meek Mill, but he's not none of them. No disrespect to them. It's a different, and anybody who's been in a studio, I know,
sure.
Like I just put up a video right now talking about where Ali was talking about the work ethic. And when I met Ali back in 2006, he looked at me, he said, this nigga Dot, bro, he got a vault. He never stopped recording. I said, really? That was in 06.
Yeah.
When I think about like somebody who obviously has a level of integrity around their art form, and they prioritize pushing the art and what they're doing, and then at the same time, from the very beginning, he was like, I could be a cross of Common and Gucci Mane, because I can give you the knowledge, but I can still keep it ghetto. Then he did that at the Super Bowl. Why you mess with him? What did your Canadian ass think that you were dense enough, or you had as many layers to even go there? This ain't a popularity contest, and I think he learned something. All I kept saying, bro, was we finna get a master class. I don't know what it's gonna sound like, but we finna get a master class.
He to your point about the silence also. We both married, right? And you've said something, you probably said something to your wife one time, or she said something to you, or you said something to your wife one time and she got quiet. She didn't respond how she usually would respond. And then all day, if whatever amount of time that was between what was said and what the time she decided to speak, you worried about what was going to happen.
Here's the exact quote to add to that: leave your opponents in suspended terror.
For sure.
We've all been there. Left on some suspended terror for sure.
We've all been there. Because that's also, which is so genius about it, that's also a method of attack. It's a form of attack, right? It's like I know that's messing with you. Here's the thing, that might be messing with you more than if I actually say something. Because if I say something, now you have something to go off of. You can respond, you can attack, you can do. But if you don't hear anything, don't know nothing, that's what would get you to do an AI verse song. That's what makes you do stuff like that.
You got too much time on your hands. Why don't you just sit down somewhere? Like my grandma used to say, sat down.
That's why. And here's the thing. The homegirl in here, she I think Sunshine said that. She said, don't let Tati hear you saying that, Luck. Tati is from my boy Rio's chat. She loves Drake. So when people be talking about Drake, she comes to defense, right? Which is fine.
It must be a hard time for her right now because he is not making
it. It is, but they ride. No, they fight it out. But the thing is, though, it's like so when you talk about it, there are obviously jokes because we joke a lot, right? But at the same time, when we deal with this, like the conversation we're having now, it's more so methodical. It's not like clowning, right? It's like it's kind of like watching this untrained fighter jump in a ring with Bruce Lee or something. It's like, fam,
I can make a boxing analogy too, but when you said that, so continue. I'm sorry.
It's like this. It's gonna go all bad. It's like you're not prepared for what that is, and mentally, you're so. Here's the thing: you're so outside of the culture. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even see that he wasn't the one to mess with. You're so far removed from what's actually going on inside of here because you're a tourist, right? You not only did you need a passport for America, you needed one for hip hop. But go ahead.
No, I want you to land that one. I'm bad. You good?
Yeah, I'm just saying you're a tourist, so you had no inkling of what was coming for you, and that's why you're so wounded because you went in with your guards down. That's why you bleeding so much on everybody.
Yeah,
right. Because you underestimated you looked at his size like that meant anything in a battle of wits. You talked about that man's shoe size. On the first disc, you talked about his shoe size.
And you put a shoe size as your album artwork. Are you that artwork? Are you got to be something more up there because you're the same guy that was strategically moving against Meek Mill in a very different way. And even to like a point that G made, that the Glasses made, he was saying like, why you didn't do the things that you known for? You don't got no songs with no catchy hooks. Because even with the back-to-back and Charged Up, those sounded like legitimately
for sure
Boy Wonder Drake records. None of these sounded like that. And I assume it's, if I'm looking at it from his standpoint, he's like, okay, different opponent, I got to have a different strategy. But that's not what you're known for doing. Yeah, you might kick it around battle rap folks, but you don't understand the nuance enough to take that on for yourself. Like, it progressively got worse. I was gonna make an analogy to building off what you said about the boxer. It's like watching a movie where you have we've seen this movie a million times where it's a boxer who's the people's champ and he's just parading around, he's dancing, he's trying to do all of this, and the other boxer that's just very methodical and he's like, I'm not on your timing. You can swing, you can do all of the the dope and all that, but I'm not on your timing. And when you start having to fight, when you do all of that nonsense and you start losing your steam, now you on my timing. Because if I think you're so right that if Kendrick would have dropped, like say the next day after push-ups, I think we would have probably got Family Matters a little bit earlier. We would have got, some of these other records earlier because now he's playing Drake's game. But he said, I'm going to play your game, but I need you to play mine first, which is just wait. I know you over in that mansion, nervous as hell. I know that that's where I think it's so funny to see these photos that are popping up of Kendrick supposedly in psychology classes in UCLA in 2022. First thing I thought to myself was, oh, you were fighting in.
Right.
He went to the chapter luck and he was like, how to destroy a narcissist. Got it. And did this. So it's like, I look at it's a master class because ironically, the only gun bars you got in this battle was from Drake. You did. Ironically, the only violence, people will argue that Kendrick said, I think people like you should die. No, he said, I think people like you should die. It was never direct violence. It was always like, I'm going to talk to you almost like a psychologist, but also too, like somebody that, like a parent as well. But Drake said, I'll slit your throat in the middle of part 6. And he walked him down the most adult way and said, you're a terrible person.
You're a terrible person.
You know what? You're so terrible. You probably can't even trust the people around you. Have you ever given thought? He didn't even say it was. He said, have you ever given thought that the people in over you are working for me? You know how diabolical that is? Look, do you know how? Can you just think about that? I remember seeing this in Ocean's 12. Ocean's 12, he said, I know people in this city. And he said, I know the same people and they like me more. That was that kind of a scene when I seen him say that. He said, not I do, because that sounded like a bold-faced Drake lie, which I got to bring up real quick. But he said, have you ever have thought that maybe some people that's Novio are working for me? And I had this thought in my mind of him looking around the room like, who does this guy think he is? Like, Right. I can trust you guys. Right.
And we trust him.
But here's the funniest part about all of this. Remember what he said in the Heart Part 6, in the midst of all of these legal proceedings and all of these things being said, and UMG has not brought it up yet, which I think is hilarious. He said, we fed y'all the information for weeks. You clowns took the information. Yep. We fed you the information for weeks, and now you're suing because he received the information and used it in your world. He's dumb, bro. I thought he was a lot more. I thought he was a lot more genius because of, I don't know why, but
I think he also, you know what, man? Yes, ego is a thing, right? But I gotta not retract a bit, but I gotta pull back a little bit because you're right. When he did back to back and charged up, it was almost effortless.
Mm-hmm.
Even how it was released, it just sounded like it was in vein of the music he was making already, and it just worked. He was it was smooth. Everything was smooth. All these records sounded like I have to do something else because the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Because now because I've been saying how much ego has been driving the car this whole time, right? And in a sense, it definitely has his hand on the wheel with Drake, right? But you're right. He did move a little different. It's all corny and lame to me, but he still moved a little different when dealing with Dot, because there is a point of respect there, right? And I don't mean respect in like I respect you. Yeah. I mean respect like a shooter don't want to go after another shooter.
Right. Because you might actually get me.
Because you might actually get shot.
I play this game, but I don't usually play this game with people that play the game like I do. I want to make it home. I want to make it home.
I think that he understood that Kendrick is a shooter, right? Mm-hmm. And in the midst of that, realize how much you are not one.
Well, then if you do it, that's like, I'll give you a perfect analogy of what Drake did. This is no disrespect to this player. I think he's a hardworking player, great defensive champion. That's like Draymond Green deciding he want to take more 3-pointers in the NBA finals. When it count the most, he gonna take more 3-pointers than Steph Curry. Because I'm on that. Like a different beast. Yeah, they a different beast. But you're not a 3-point shooter. I know, but like we gotta get different. We gotta think this outside the box. I feel like that's what Drake did. You are not a go to the post physical player. You are a finesse player who hits your jump shots, your mid range, and your 3-point shots. You are more Steph Curry in this equation. Yeah. You decided that you wanted to put your fragile body on the line and start driving to the basket. Now, when you're facing LeBron James, now when you're facing some of the best physical players in the game, and it's like, you understand that Dot is both graceful and physical. You understand that because of affiliations, that's why he moved. That's why Drake moved. He knew he couldn't be out there in Calabasas after all of this stuff happened. He moved. He got to move. Because all Kendrick had to say, and I think Kendrick knows, I think Kendrick might speak fluently in light skin. He might speak like fluently in high yellow too. And beige, somebody called it beige something, which is hilarious. Beigeanese. I think he might, after that psychology class, because he said, you think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac, nigga? I think that Oakland show gonna be your last stop. What's wrong with that? Maybe he's saying it might be the last stop after a 12 run and it just ends. He never actually threatened the man, which is the funniest thing about all of this. And he got so damn scared because he was like, hey, top dog. What do you say? What do you say? He said, something's my middle name when you hop off that plane. Extortion, my middle name when you hop off of that plane.
Extortion, yeah.
I can imagine him looking around like.
I think and to your point, the way he kind of like said things without saying things. I think you brought this up on a live you did with someone. I forgot you were. I think you was on Rap Latte. Shout out to the brothers over at Rap Latte.
Yeah,
you were talking about how did he call him a pedophile?
He did.
Or did he say you got to kind of separate those two lines, right?
Yeah,
in a sense.
The S is what changes all of that.
For sure. You know, and I'm like, damn, that's genius, because I could argue that.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue
right now. The UMG is literally arguing that, and I said, "Don't want to keep calling me an idiot now? I'm still stupid. You sure? I'm not him. You know that, right? Like I really think about this. It's cool. Because that video went viral and they lit me up. Look,
is he still trying to take down pages?
I don't know if that's still happening. I know it has allegedly happened according to those leaked DMs. But I mean, the thing is, like, every move that you make right now is so under radar in such a different way that you kind of can't do that, especially with folks who have their own platforms to get their narratives off. You know what's ironic, and this is something that's going to be like, it's going to feel like it's not related, but it is. When corporations started getting on Twitter, when Oreo, Best Buy, when Southwest Airlines could get on Twitter, and you could also get on Twitter after having a terrible experience and say, Southwest Airlines has got to be the most racist airport I've ever been to. Look at what they did to me. Here's some photos. Here's some evidence. And then they had to respond to you.
Yeah.
It didn't just fall into their mailbox. It didn't just fall into their customer complaints or they human relations. No. It's on. We got to do something about this right now. It's going viral. I think the same thing is happening to artists, in that someone who abuses their power, allegedly, like a Drake, to stop the narrative around them, the eyes are on you like never before. And we got more independent internet detectives than we ever had before now. Like, bro, I'm telling you, it's getting spooky out here. Even like when I think about the Ebony Prince security guard gentleman who's been releasing all of this stuff out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he said that there's some case where there's a witness on the case who is speaking against Drake, and guess what her name is?
What's that?
Gloria. What's the last song on GNX?
Oh wow.
This nigga's Kanye fake crazy. Kanye fake crazy. Kendrick really crazy. But in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's because.
Can you imagine that for a second? Can you imagine? Let me just say this one thing. Can you imagine this, look? If that is indeed a connection, can you imagine how much turmoil mentally that gives you? If you look at the charts and you see that name on the charts every single day, that's next level. That's, you want to play a game?
It literally said he might be that. Dude, I love it. There is a legit argument that he might be the most insane MC in the game.
I want that. I love that I get to see it. I love that I get to see it. The homegirl Afro Butterfly said Kenny is crazy for a good cause. Sometimes I think I'm crazy for a good cause too. I like
it. He really is though. And I think, another thing I don't think people point out, right? Well, I've listened to a lot of, seen a lot of videos, a lot of responses, stuff like that, but I don't think people really point out that Drake, or this happened it was almost like the perfect storm, right? Where it happened at a time that, we as in we in the culture, have been speaking about the game needs a change. It needs a cleansing. Rappers ain't rapping right. They talking about garbage. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change. And we've been hearing, where's Dot, or where's the J. Cole's, or we've been hearing that. That's been simmering, right? So people are wanting some kind of change in the music. Yeah. And now I don't want to say just change in the music. I think people are wanting substance. We want our people want their twerking music or dance music also, right? Or hyper sex, whatever. But you also need the balance of substance. And we weren't getting enough substance, so there's no balance. So it left people of the culture to complain about the music we were hearing, right? Now, Drake don't understand that he tried to fight back in the midst of a culture who don't want to hear that shit. right? And the person who we knew and cheered on for years, who would give us that, who, whether he wanted it or not, we are pushing him up to the head of that hip hop, whatever that leadership, that group, that whatever. We are pushing up Dot to be that, and now you are going against that. Oh, he can't lose.
Yeah,
like he can't lose because we're championing behind that. Drake, you've been here, you've been doing great, awesome, but don't come over here fucking with this because we need this more than we need you. Now, you can exist in a space because you also need music for clubs and dance and R&B and synth music and all kinds of stuff like that. No disrespect to nobody, but you also need. We understand that, yeah. But if we're looking at rap as a decline that might be jazz one day, no, somebody got to save it.
Somebody got to shake it up. Somebody got
to shake it up. Yeah. And look, and not only did you, so you went after Dot. We weren't having that because that's a critical blow to hip hop. And then after that happened, you went to the courts. So UMG can't lose because the precedence of what that was set. If you win, if Drake win,
he ain't got a chance in hell no how. When I see Lucian and Dr. Dre having the high five, I said, "Oh, you just lost yourself a case with confidence."
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Shout out to Ace Boy Rio. I see he's in the building right now. Shout out to him.
Hey, so you see the message on the screen. So
yeah.
You think that Kendrick had a 4-year plan because the Olympics is going to be in LA 2028? That like that verse came out in 2024. Since then, Kendrick has been outside of doing music. And also, I know you've seen it. They've been talking about one of the heads of the Olympics, one of the head advisors or whatever, or one of the head staff member of that council was talking about getting Kendrick to perform there.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So, do I think it was a 4-year plan? Not necessarily. No. If I find out that's ultra diabolical, and Kendrick until he needs to be locked up until he's ready to come out until it's time to do music.
I do think it's interesting though that it aligns with on some like really full brain type shit. I think it's hilarious that it does align with the political 4-year regimes changing. Because now,
for sure. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, for sure.
Right, just let me walk through this one.
For sure.
Now this is the beginning of the Kendrick regime. The people had elected, or maybe the companies and corporate entities had elected Drake to be their poster child. Now we're underneath the new regime. Underneath the new regime comes a different responsibility from the fan bases. Somebody made a great point. They said, have you noticed, especially if you judge by the extreme fans of Kendrick and the extreme fans of Drake, those fans that are fans of Drake, fans that are fans of Kendrick tend to be fans of hip hop first. And because of their fandom of hip hop and the things that come along with it, lyricism and storytelling and the entertainment, all these things, the authenticity, they gravitate towards a Kendrick because he's able to embody those things. The extreme fans of a Drake tend to be people who are either one of the two things. Firstly, a fan of Drake, and then let's say second or third, maybe not even hip hop, but like people who are like Drake and his atmosphere, or they're just fans of themselves in the most narcissistic way you can think, because he makes music where he's always the winner, he's always the main character, even when he's messing with somebody else's wife and he's drunk texting her, he still is not in the wrong. He's singing to you, even in his vulnerability. It's still me. When you get Kendrick's music, what do you hear? Sometimes you hear about him the last because he's talking about his people, where he's from. He's talking about the region he's from. He's talking about, the things he came up with. He's painting all these pictures so you know what it's like to live out in Compton. Then he'll tell you on a Mr. Morale, this is me as a man telling you these are the things that I can't relate to or I do relate to. So like you get a much different experience. When he broke it down that way, I was like, it makes complete sense why somebody would ultra defend the other actions, knowing it's completely against every hip hop rule you could ever think of.
Because they don't care about
that. And they like, That's my guy. Well, that's because it's almost like you see sports sometimes. There were folks who were legitimately a fan of Kobe and not of the Lakers.
Right. Same for LeBron right now.
Same. What you saw when LeBron came. When LeBron came, they were like, whacking out his part of the mural on the on what he made. Like, we're Laker gang, right? What you mean? No, so y'all were just Kobe fans. And that's fine if that exists, but it's like, damn.
That's an awesome point, though. Because we're fans of hip hop and them fans of Kendrick.
Mm-hmm. That's why there's overlappage.
Well, so that's what I mean. It's overlapping. So I think it's telling and it's why we fight so hard. So because I'm a Glazer, because
I hate that word, by the way.
I hate it too, and I hope nobody don't cut that part right there. That's a bad edit.
That's crazy. That's a crazy clip. You see, that's one thing you're gonna learn about this internet. You gotta be careful about them clips because man, they'll take a clip out of context so fast. You know how many times Dr. Umar got took out of context because of that? Oh Lord.
So, but I'm that because I like the intricacies of little meticulous little things, hidden bars and double entendres, triple entendres, and metaphors and change in music chord shifts. I'm a nerd about the hip hop thing.
Yeah. That's
what they don't understand. So anything that's a part of that, the true core of what that means and what that sounds like, I'm diving in, right? The reason why me arguing with the average Drake fan, and I say average, I mean this because I was a Drake fan also. I had to remove myself because now once you're against Dot, who is not only I'm a fan of, but that's an actual friend. Right. Then I'm like, oh no, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo I can't really get with. Yeah. Right. And but I'm arguing two different things when I'm arguing the average Drake fan because y'all don't care about the music anyway. Or not the music that here's not the music, the culture. You ever talk to a young kid nowadays, and I'm young can be subjective depending on age, right? And they say, I remember I had a real dope conversation with me and Three Stacks were talking about hip hop one day, and we talked about how he was talking to a bunch of young kids, and they were talking about how they don't care about lyrics. They were telling him how they don't mind a song being 2 minutes and it only being 2 verses, and they really don't care about lyrics. That's why they like Young Thug so much, right? Because they said we don't need to understand as long as it sounds good,
right?
And now, so somebody coming from where I was raised on, that would be blasphemy, right?
All the way,
right? But I had to put myself in their shoes of, okay, let me operate in the modern times of how they are operating and how they feel about this thing that I love so much, right? And not be so offended, right? Their thing is, do it sound good? Because what we are dancing to and listening to, we're way more beat than lyrics.
Yeah.
We care almost nothing about the lyric part. Right, we came up on lyrics first, right? As hip hop fans, don't get me wrong, the beat was there because the DJs were there, right? But it was all about there was a break beat playing, and then the MC, even if you want to go down to Bobby dang diggy diggy, we was all into the lyricism of what was being said over the record, right? And then got into beats. We didn't even really trip on producers till they start tagging themselves,
right?
And no disrespect to producers, you're a producer. I'm not only disrespected to producers, but the rapper was the rapper and the DJ who did the party. That's what people was tripping on. Producers start tagging themselves, made an identity for themselves, and that's what gave a producer, mostly, in my opinion, most of the leverage. Not credit when it comes to business, because you're a hit maker regardless. Fast forward to 2025, we're arguing with kids who don't care about what he's saying. He don't care about substance. He don't care about that song made you cry and made you this. They don't care. They're about, do it sound good? Can I listen to it in a car when I'm smoking, drinking, high, or whatever? can me and my girl listen to that when we just chilling doing nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like it's like, how do I argue with somebody who don't care about nothing I care about?
Well, can I throw this a wrinkle into this conversation?
Please.
I for sure was on the same wavelength as you with this one, until I talked to my guy Professor Sky. You seen him on Culture United. Shout out to Fly Science too, because she does bring up a good point in that.
A great point.
With an Afro Butterfly, I need that stat. I don't know if you still hear Afro Butterfly. We need the stat. As soon as that stat come up, I'm gonna piggyback off of that. But first point is that Professor Sky said, well, how about this point of view? Kids now are more overstimulated with devices than any other generation has ever been.
Mm-hmm.
You sitting in front of the TV, you're likely on the phone. You probably in front of the phone, in front of the game, in front of, you're connected through probably 4 or 5 different devices in that room. Even your iWatch makes sure that you're connected to your phone, even when you're not near your phone. You're probably listening to music while reading something or doing homework. There go the stat. The national reading average is below 3rd grade level, and comprehension is 2 grades lower, unfortunately. So I think that there's a combination of things going on here. One, I was watching. Okay, so let me line it up. 2 things are going on. One, I do agree with Professor Sky is saying is that after being so overly stimulated by things in your environment, it doesn't leave you a lot of bandwidth left to do anything except for find music to vibe to. Anything that puts you to work feels like homework for some kids, right? Or it takes you out of the necessity to decompress. That's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is for sure. I was watching this documentary, I think the New York Times did on YouTube about why rappers are not writing anymore. And it started to dawn on me. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to know if them rappers exist in his chat, but I was like, they alluded to it, but they wouldn't say it because they knew how that was gonna come off. I said, niggas can't read, huh? Like some of these rappers legitimately cannot read
or write.
Or that's what I'm saying. So you can't read or write. So the idea of having to write down lyrics, it changes all of your process. Now I got this art form that all I got to do is come up with a cadence, come up with a flow, and then fill in the words and then just let it go. And nobody will ever know that. I mean, R. Kelly for sure, is a testament to what you're able to do without knowing how to read or write. So I look at that and I'm like, it's more at the surface. It's more at the surface. It's more than meets the eye. And I look at it from that perspective. Here's where I want to flip that whole argument on his head, though.
Mm-hmm.
We're also in a generation where the success and emergence of 3-hour, 4-hour podcasts are here. We're on the podcast right now. So this same argument about, well, attention spans. No. People are watching and listening to these podcasts because there's advertisements through the whole thing. They're not going to spend that money if it's not money there.
Right.
Something else. We live in a time where escape rooms are popular. Escape rooms are all about finding the clues in the room and having to use your brain in a different way. It's just gamified. Okay, if it's gamified, what makes it gamified in music? A battle. That's why I think you see the nature of people breaking down lyrics. It is Kendrick. Don't get it twisted. He's a very unique teacher in this. But I think the gamification of looking for Easter eggs, the gamification of what does euphoria mean in 5 different ways, the gamification of even getting views by being the person that discovered this, it shows how much of an authority and how witty you are. I think that's the unique angle now that we're seeing a lot of these kids that probably 2 years ago, they didn't care about this because rappers, even though they was rapping like that, it wasn't gamified. Now it's gamified.
Damn. You know what? It's funny because I must admit, I went from very excited about the conversation I'm having, which I am, to depressed.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I aim to disbelieve.
Yo, because when you get down to, because you got to step outside. Here's the thing. Yeah. I'm almost arguing from, not argue for lack of better terms, arguing from a point of a very old school system structure as far as hip hop.
Yeah.
And now when you bring stats into it about like, we're not even using pens and pencils in school no more. Everybody, they're handing iPads to students and computers are already at the desk. and they're in their phone. When are they ever going to write anything? When? And reading and writing is out. That's out, right? So when do I expect you to? How do I expect a young kid who coming up like that? And we didn't even get into what happens at home, right?
Yeah.
And
that's a layered one.
That's a whole other pie, right? And so now this kid is listening to music that gives him the least bit of resistance.
Yeah.
The least bit of fight, the least bit of understanding, the least bit of thing you got to grapple with, because you have to grapple with so many other things outside of this thing that you love, right? So now it's just like sound. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. It's almost resorting back to being a baby, right? Because you know how you would just play sound for babies.
Yeah.
You just play whatever in the carriage, the little thing that hangs down with the music that hangs. Just be so intrigued by the sound of the music. They're almost doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Forget the music. The dire effects outside of that is heinous in a sense. It's almost like it's ridiculous. And it's like, where do we go? Because this conversation is much bigger than the music.
Sure.
Right. But because we're here now. We're here now. Right. And if it's like, you ever seen a movie, Idiocracy?
Yeah. Many times.
It looks very familiar. Right?
Yeah. Hey,
if you look outside, it looks familiar now.
We're not quite Gatorade in
no, for sure.
Yet. Thank God.
Are we far from that?
Probably not. Powerade probably.
Are we far from like water? People not even drinking that much water no more? Or
I mean, we might be there. Long as Terry Crews and the
president.
I did hear Stephen A. might be president, so I
did
hear Stephen A. might be wanting to run for president. So I don't know.
Fam, let me tell you, with Idiocracy. If any of you guys see Idiocracy in the chat, fam, what?
Yeah, man.
It looks familiar in a sense. I mean, it's not as extra out, right? But even the conversation we're having, why am I arguing with someone who don't even want to hear? He wants to hear sound. I'm arguing with someone about the perplexities of Kendrick verse.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, but Young Thug. Conversation over.
But I'm sorry. We gonna make
go ahead.
So this is where I'm so grateful that I still was like on the tail end of, the self-help era, right? Where the Tony Robbins and the Les Browns existed, because I went to an event one time called Unleash the Power Within. And something I will always remember after that event is that we as human beings have 6 needs. If you get 3 of them, especially 3 of the wrong of them, it can become an addiction. I'm gonna break it down. So the first one is we have a need for certainty. We want to make sure that when we turn that key, the door opens up. A need for uncertainty. We need surprise in our life. We need variation. Third, we need love and affection. Now that can come in many different forms where, we'll break that down. Next, we have a need for significance, to feel like what we're doing means something. Those are the 4, the 4, I believe, what is that? There are 4 other needs, the 2 that we actually need to achieve happiness and progression, growth, and contribution. The problem is a drug addiction will give you uncertainty, because you don't know how high you're gonna get. It'll get you love and affection when you in rehab or you in a hospital, and it's just a bastardized way of doing it. And you feel significant because when you go pay the dealer, you get what you want. That can turn into any addiction you could think of. That could be social media. Social media works the same way. The problem is you gotta make sure you find a way to either grow or contribute to something bigger than what you're doing. Because when you do that, it cleans up all the mess. There's nothing wrong with being addicted. It's about figuring out what's something productive to be addicted to. And I think with the kids right now, bro, like for the first time, they're looking at somebody win awards and get results and get notoriety, and you can't cheat your way. You can't buy VC and just upgrade your player to get to a Kendrick. No.
Right.
He did it the old-fashioned way. So now you mean I gotta sit down here and really understand the difference between a metaphor and a simile? You mean I gotta really sit down here and damn, he got notebooks? I guess it might be, you know what? I kind of am curious about writing. Like, a lot of this stuff is going to be just the evolution and sometimes de-evolution of the way that kids interact with computers, because they start realizing like, damn, my older brother's depressed, my uncle's depressed, and they came on the very beginning of this internet age where people got addicted. Maybe I want to try something different, dog. There's kids. Never forget the name of the group. There's kids right now in the Midwest who have all collectively said, mind you, they're like under 13. They've all collectively said, we're not going to use iPhones. We're not going to use any smartphones. They said they were not going to listen to music unless it comes in a cassette or CD. And they're a group of kids that chose to do this on their own. Anytime we have like evolution of things that are going on and it starts getting scary, I always get excited because I remember the book, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Those are the times that birth new renaissance, new revolutions. Like, that's when it happens. So yeah, as idiot as things are right now, I do think it leaves a space open that says, well, what happens if I do buy this notebook from Ralph's and just start writing whatever in there? What if I just start journaling? So I think like I'm not like a doom and gloom that everything isn't
sure.
But I think every problem presents an opportunity. Every time you answer a question, you also present a new question. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, is it necessarily a bad thing if it took kids getting to that place where they say enough is enough?
Can we depend on that?
I don't think we got a choice.
There's another question.
I don't think we got a choice. I ain't never hog-tied nobody. I don't think we got a choice.
It sucks, man, and it's just you watch it. And to your point, I don't ever want to seem hopeless.
Yeah,
right. You don't ever want to see, like you said, doom and gloom.
Can I make one point? Can I make one point before you get? I don't want to. One point I want to make.
Please.
I'm talking to Good Luck on a live stream that is open to the public, and this is in the beginning. And what is it right now? Shout out to the 34 people that came in here. This is at the beginning. Do you know that there's conversations that I would have had with Luck just like this that I could only tell you about that you could never even see?
Right.
So when I think about like a YN that's just off, you know, they off on some other stuff, all it takes is a seed to be planted.
Yeah.
And you never know what's gonna happen in, like, you know, when they pop into like the Ace Boys community and somebody says something where it's just common wisdom amongst their tribe, where they don't got no tribe. Thank God they got access to you now, where you're able to say like, nah, I probably wouldn't operate it like that as Good Luck. That don't make no sense to me. This is You said things to me today that are so embedded into your muscle memory, you don't realize how much of a gym it is sometimes, Luck. And these kids are like taking down notes like, I hope he don't know I guess I got away with something. Let one go. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's the point I wanted to make, is that I'm trying to force myself to stay in the moment and stay in the now and realize like, dog, this ain't normal. Ain't nothing normal about me talking to you in a live stream and us being able to have this kind of conversation in the public. This is nothing normal about this.
Yeah. I got to sit back and appreciate these times, not those times, these times. And because you're right, like we've also come so far. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, and we get so caught up, me speaking for myself, I get so caught up talking about music because there's almost a little bit of, if I can be all the way honest, there's a little bit of bitterness attached because of this thing I loved. I feel like it's being mishandled. And even with my own hands on it, it was being abused outside of me and outside of the people who loved it. And you start to feel like you have no you have no power to stop it, right? But that becomes unrealistic with you being hopeful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that movie called it wasn't really a good movie, but I watch it every time I come on. I'm like that with certain movies.
I'm king of that. I love that.
Right. So, I think it was a movie called G. Eddie Murphy played a movie called G. He was like a spiritual guru type of dude, whatever.
I did see that where he had the tree that was growing in the backyard and all of that.
No, that's I know what you're talking about. That's that may be Meet Dave, I think, maybe.
He been in so many movies. Yeah,
he used to lie or something like that. He's going to speak so many words or something like that. But anyway, it was called G, I think, something like that. And he told this is the point I'm making about being hopeless. And the point you're making about people that could be watching this and the things they are getting from any one of us or anybody speaking any kind of real into the life of somebody. He told a story about how this one girl he was on the beach and he seen this little girl, these starfish, thousands of starfish, hundreds of starfish washed up on the sand. And the girl was crying, running around, little girl trying to pick him up and throw him back in the water, right? He said he watched her for so long and she picked up she's crying, trying to throw him back in the water, get him back in the water. He said, so he walked over there and asked the girl, like, why are you doing this? He said, it's so many starfish, like you won't be able to save them all. And she was saying, yeah, but to that one, that was everything. Yeah. It was everything. It was everything to him, that one. Right. So to your point, you're spot on with that. It's that no matter how I feel about how this culture I love could be being abused, right? I do have a Curtis King. I do have a Justin Hunter, FD Signifier, all these great dudes who love this thing and are only pouring into it every time you guys push start on your live stream. Or every time you guys have another conversation about this thing of ours, right? And how dope this could be, how dope this is from people who love it and will take care of it. And even if the world decides to throw it away, we still have us to kind of hold on to it and embrace it and give it and share it with whoever would love to see this thing of ours when they come around or whenever in our space. That's why I want to do these streams and create this space, this community, because your space and your community, who I've been in tons of times, looking at you do tons of videos about a bunch of different things, it's a safe space.
It is.
We know that when they enter your space, when you log on to Curtis King TV, it's a safe space. I know that the information that you are pouring out there, it's healthy.
Yeah.
Right. And it won't do anybody wrong, let alone just me, the listener or the viewer, whatever. So I intend on doing that with this space. And I'm glad you said that, because as I start to get depressed about this thing of ours, right, you're right. It can't just be doom and gloom. And if somebody's going to hold it up, even if it's just me, well, I'll do it then. You know what I mean?
And there's something you said, and it's a word that's been sticking in my head since you said it. You said, I don't know if this is bitterness. And the first thought that came to mind is it can only be bitter if you could taste it. You can only taste it if it's internalized. And I feel like you're in a space now where, whether that's through music, whether that's through content, it's only bitter because you can taste it, and you're not supposed to be tasting it. It's supposed to be something that you share those gifts. And I feel like maybe that's what our gifts become. When they stay internalized, they become bitter taste, because it's like it's not meant for us to hold on to. It's meant for us to let go. I'm thinking about this time period, and I'm like, man, there's so many times that I sat in here and I ask myself, like, man, what's the purpose of this? And what's the ultimate goal? Like, what does this look like in 4 years, 5 years? And I'm like, wait a minute, we living too far into a future we know nothing about. If we want to set ourselves up to have the greatest future, as corny as that sounds, I got to do something about it right now. And something that I got from that Tony Robbins event, I'll never forget, is it's a visualization game. He says, always fast forward yourself 20 or 30 years into the future and think about that version of you and ask yourself, what look does he have on his face and why? Based upon your actions today, what look does he have on his face and why? Is he in a rocking chair? Is he You know, is he struggling to get around? Is he angry and at everybody, whoever? Why is he like that? And what are you doing right now that's contributing to that? Now, the flip side. Why is he smiling? Why is he excited about what's to come? It's because of habits that you did right now. So when I look at you in this space, and the thing I'm so excited about with you, Luck, is that no matter the technical difficulties, I've never seen you once be like, yeah, that was just a thing. It's like, no, you've been on it. You've been like you're like, yeah, I went live, and I did this, and then this happened. And the excitement that I hear, like, first of all, just as a black man, just from my brother to you, like you to me, I'm just excited to hear that kind of vitality, because that gives me hope, especially when I meet a lot of folks. I meet my folks, and the older I meet them, the less life they seem to have sometimes. And I think about, I made this statement earlier last year, is that I'm like, I wonder if that's why the record business was designed the way that it was. They squeeze all the life out of black men in their 20s and their 30s. And by the time we get to our 40s, all we got left is podcasting. Not that that's not a powerful medium.
Right.
All we got left is to talk about, because I look at Joe and I'm like, Joe was one of the best to do it. And I look at him now and he's like, I ain't doing that, man. I got money now. And I respect it. But at the same time, I'm like, the reason we care is because you did that. That's what made me know who a good luck was when he was bad luck. So all of that plays into it. So what I'm saying now is like, man, you saying you want to do a flocation? I'm like, bro, I'm finna make the best beat you never heard from Curtis. Because I get excited about it, because I'm like, to me, I'm a voice in media. I'm an emerging voice in media, and I'm excited about that, and I'm fully embracing it. But fully embracing it doesn't mean getting rid of my music. It means the same thing that I reached out to you years ago. I'm just turning it back into a hobby.
Yeah.
And now that it's a hobby that I've mastered, well, shit, let's get into a couple. Since I know fishing, let's get into a couple of tournaments. I mean, it ain't nothing too deep. It ain't nothing too deep. You know, I'm not a couple racks on this fishing line. Okay, it's this.
Wow.
But now I'm at a point where it's like, no, I don't need to do an interview with someone so that I can get some motion.
Right.
I've always wanted to be my biggest cosign. So I told my audience, and Justin hit me up in a text message about it. I said, you know what I made a commitment to? I can't control the numbers. I can't control whether or not y'all come to the videos or not. But you know what I am going to do? I'm going to show up even if y'all don't show up.
Right. Even if.
I'm not going nowhere. I found something. I'm not going nowhere.
I'm so sorry about that.
Look, even with shows, look, folks be hitting me about shows. You know, my first answer is, nigga, no. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not leaving the house until you tell me how much money is, like, not even from a place of flex. And it's just a matter
everything that loves me is here.
Breathing outside costs thousands of dollars now.
For sure.
I've seen kids selling eggs on the corner like drug dealers. You want me to come outside and do what? Get some drink tickets?
Right.
Well, my son at home, like, when daddy gonna be home? Oh, he out there just rapping to other rappers. Like, I just can't. I'm not disrespectful to nobody. I'm just saying I had the realization that if I kept going down this way, I'm going to understand why the OGs that were around me when I was younger were bitter. Because they were tasting.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that out of their system. So now I'm in a place where it's like, dog, whatever you want to know from me, I'm gonna always be transparent. I'm not gatekeeping nothing, especially from my folks. And it's to me, only reason I ever wanted to make money in my music was so I could make better music.
That's dope. Damn.
Now
so I can make better music. Some more access. More. Yeah.
Ad revenue now. Ad revenue lets me go ahead and say, you want to buy a new mic? Okay, let's do it.
Right.
But I'm not stopping creating. That's God gave me that talent, and I'm not gonna bury it in the dirt.
Bro, you just said a quote. When I first joined my church, 2022, I got baptized I went baptized 2022, but I joined that church that earlier that year. And my pastor, I've had the first one of my real conversations I had with my pastor, and he asked me what I did for a living, and because he said he had heard my name from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. I said, "Oh, I used to do music." And he was like, "You used to do music?" I said, "Yeah, I used to do music. I used to be a rapper or whatever." He said, "Used to be a rapper?" He's trying to get me to understand something.
All right, the used to.
I was like, "You said used to," and my wife was standing there. She was like, "Trust me, yeah, he's done with that. I've had this conversation with him. He's done, you know." And he was telling me what you just basically said. He said, "Nah, it don't work like that." He said, "God don't give you gifts for you to not use them." Mm. You know, he said, "Now, I don't know in what capacity you're going to do music again, but you will do music again."
Yeah.
You know, that's for you to figure out, and God will lead you the way. If you allow him to lead you, he'll lead you there this way. So I say all that to say this conversation and the reason why I can openly feel good about saying, yes, I would like to do Flocation because you're right. That is a gift of mine that he blessed me to have. And it's doing no good inside. It's just there. I just get a bunch of people saying, "Oh, what you used to do." Oh, look, you used
bitter,
to be.
It tastes bitter,
right?
Huh?
It's crazy when you think about yo, I used to like this, I used to like that. And I'm like, damn, like it ain't like I don't rap no more. And I'm to your point, I'm more in control on how I display that.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm signed to some label and I got a beast and go do an interview with somebody I don't want to talk to. Right.
What about this perspective as well? And I thought about this the other day. I was talking to the homie. I said, if we were athletes, right? If we were basketball players, we know what to work out to become better basketball players, right? We got to work on our ankles and make sure that we can jump. We got to work on our muscles and make sure that we can box out. As an athletic, let's just say rapper, what muscle do we work out on a regular basis? Our mouthpiece, talking is what we do.
Yeah.
That's why I think podcasting is so natural. Content creation, when you don't look at it as I have to do it. This is you're literally going to the gym to use muscles that you only going to use to go to the gym. But you're literally working out the same brain that has to make connections where things don't exist. You got to take these things that are we know is from God, but you're taking these mumbles and you're turning them into coherent, lines, and you're stacking them up. That's what we're doing right now with these thoughts. You said something that didn't even exist in my mind a few seconds ago. It triggered something that triggers something. So it's an exchange, but this is still a cipher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
wow. Yeah.
And that's where you gave me such a gem when you came over here last time, because shout out to my guy Itchy Bondon Willie B. He didn't try to had the same conversation with me. He had to re-up with me recently, but he's like, man, basically don't let how nefarious and tragic sometimes the music industry is taint the thing that made them even interested in what you're doing. That wasn't theirs. That was yours first.
Yeah.
That's mine. And now wherever I go, this is going with me. Okay, I gave my life to the Lord. Cool. This music is in alignment because I'm in alignment, first of all.
Sure.
So what I say, I'm not gonna do that. That's minor chord. Nah, I sound a little bit too dark for me. I'm not really on that. It's gonna get right into the conference. So I say that to say, like, I'm really trying to separate that. You said something to me though, when you said, whenever you feeling discouraged, Curtis, don't forget that you was there. You had the opportunity to be there.
Straight up.
Can't never take that away from you. You were there. You were in the room. Many a times you were there. And people still recognize you from that.
That's
you were there. You were there.
Yeah. Wow. Bro. First of all, this has been an amazing conversation.
Come on.
I must say, and I'm so glad that you were able to get online with me. Kind of like in a sense, hold my hand also through this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because I'm finding joy in creating content. It's that creative itch is getting scratched by me doing content, right? And this is another way to express.
Yeah.
And I'm able to express. I'm able to get involved. I'm not outside too much. When I stopped rapping, I stopped rapping. I got married, and I love my wife and family. So I love to be around my wife and kid, right? So I don't be outside too much, but this gives me a sense of actually being outside, building a community, and also being able to express, right? And I'm glad that it's funny how God works, because I've been knowing you for so long. And if we rewind it back to early days of rapping, and in the midst of going through my Diamond Lane Exchange label stuff, I didn't think it'd circle back and be here.
Neither did I.
Right.
I didn't know it was gonna be. When you said content, well, first I saw you doing content, which is crazy, because I didn't. It wasn't like you came to me and was like, I think about doing content. No, you had already started doing the photography, and I was just interested. Like, I didn't even know you was into photography like that. I'm genuinely interested to see what because we all love your creativity. It don't matter where it's being given. If you decide to get into film, we know it's going to be fire films because it's you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So
I appreciate it. And anything, any kind of love, any kind of help, any kind of pouring into what you've been doing, because people tend to withdraw all day long, but people rarely deposit. So when you have people to put them deposits in, I hold on to that tightly.
Same here.
And I thank you, bro. This has been a super dope experience. Shout out to the community. And here's the dope part too, also. And I never let it pass without saying something when these moments of giving flowers. This community in here today is a mixed community. It's a lot of people that are I'm sure we're down with DIYers, right?
Yeah, DIYers.
There's also my man Rio's community in here too.
Shout out to him.
There's two separate communities in here. Then I'm looking, I noticed from your chats, and I noticed from Rio's chats. Right. But what it all means to me is support.
Yeah.
It's support. I'm just now having a channel. These people already have communities that they're into, and that they drop dimes in and drop gems and interact back and forth with you guys. And they showed up with me today doing this with you just in support. Right. So just another sign of this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing to create.
My favorite saying, especially as I hear the kids say, I got motion, I got a movement. I say you don't have a movement unless everybody's moving. And I feel like that's what's happening is that everybody is moving in a way that the beautiful thing about YouTube for me is that when I learned that I could send somebody, so the way watch time works on YouTube is hilarious. If somebody watches a 10-minute video from me and then doesn't click off of YouTube and I suggest a good luck video to them and they go watch it, we both get to share in that watch time. I get to share the watch time that they have from me. So say it's a 10-minute video from me and a 10-minute video from you. That's 20 minutes that I get because I share your video into that chain of videos. So it's built on community. That's why I've always, instead of going like to a Twitch, I know there's benefits there, but this has been my place because this is where I said, I follow one course until success. And so we need you out here. I get folks hit me up like, man, should we coordinate being online? I'm like, no, dog. Like, you just do what you do because people are watching us over TV right now.
Right.
That's a humongous response. That's why I call it Curtis King TV. Right. Because it's literally take your choice of what kind of content you want. I got producer tutorials. I got It's my mode of TV. Seeing it from that point of view. That's why also when you came here, bro, you saw like anything that I ever want to do as an artist is at arm's reach. If I want to do a show, I'll do one downstairs. I got the stage. Yeah. I can set up the live stream. If I want to record, I could do it in this room. If I want to do, the next thing is merch. I want to get one of the press machines.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even though it's a hobby because I'm not actively going into other spaces, and this is my serious gig still.
For sure.
But I treat it from a spiritual level like a hobby, because when I treat it there from a spiritual level, and I learn this from you, it feels like it's untainted, and it feels like we don't have to make music today because it has to make money. I just want to make a beat. I just want to write a verse. I just want to hear my voice over something.
The reward for me is somebody saying, "Oh, that was
dope." Yeah. Even if it's just me. Even if it's just me saying it.
For sure. Even if it's just me.
Because
For sure.
look, not to, we all on the narcissism spectrum on somewhere. But damn it,
For sure.
when I tell you how many times I did a song and I get off a live stream after 7 hours and I sit here for an hour just push and repeat, it's very rare.
No, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Curtis, man. Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you for stopping in today.
Anytime.
To everybody in the chat, I can't thank you guys enough for just sitting here and listening and dropping gems and responding and interacting with us, man. I appreciate y'all. This has been such a dope experience. This isn't obviously this is the end of me and Curtis doing anything online, because
come on,
like I said, we definitely gonna do Flowcation. I'm not just saying it. We definitely doing that for sure. Do it. And we got man, and eventually I want to get to a place where this, it's not. I learned from I talked to James Fauntleroy one day. He told me he don't really have goals. Not that he doesn't strive to do anything great, but he's too much focused on the journey. Right. So the journey is where the real gems are. That's where you learn everything, good and bad. And if you focus on the journey and just loving that journey, eventually you get to wherever you want to go. Those are called goals. So for me, I just want to continue being great, continue building something dope. And eventually one thing I do want to say, I want to be noticed with the work that I put forth. Yeah. I want to be noticed as being another one of those minds who got something dope to contribute to hip hop conversations, and whether it's hip hop media, conversations, anything. I want to be able to be one of the ones, the people like, yo, let's get Luck on, or Luck got something to add to the conversation. Instead of, that's why my channel isn't going to be a clown channel. Don't get me wrong, we're going to joke and clown all day, but it's not going to be drama-filled channel. That's not this channel at all. I think
that's another shift happening too. Look, I think a lot of that's the direction it's going.
But here, like, you're gonna feel safe in this house. You're gonna feel safe over here. You're gonna be safe over here. You can kick your shoes off in this house. Yeah.
In this house.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Go ahead, kick your feet up in this house. You safe here.
Yeah.
Outside, I can't vouch for outside, but I appreciate you, man. What do you have going on? Is there anything you want? First of all, I know you got a lot of DIYers in here, but anything you want somebody to know that you got coming up, that you want? What are you looking forward to?
I'm in album mode right now, which is why the timing location is amazing, because I'm in album mode right now, and I'm just excited. First of all, like, we got the GNX. Oh yeah, you definitely want to get that. The GNX remix project I produced.
Sure.
That was fun. That was dope.
Nice.
It's funny because I started doing it because of two reasons, and one of them is gonna sound messed up, but I promise, follow me. I didn't like the GNX title track beat. I like the raps. I didn't like the beat.
Oh, okay.
I heard it and I was like, I get like the No Limit type of influence into it, and even like a little bit of Bay Area with the bass, but I was like, I couldn't. But the verses was so hard, and I said, I found myself getting into that old man with the fist, and I said, you produce, don't you? Why don't you take a hand at it? Why don't you take a shot at it? And that idea is what started me saying, well, I'll do another one. What about another one? Then I got 5 way through, and I was like, well, we didn't come this far just to come this far. Why don't we go to the end now? Before I know it, the whole thing is done. So that's out right now. If you it's absolutely free. If you go to my Twitter, or if you go to patreon.com/Curtis King TV, that's there. Also, too, I am in album mode. I'm ready to tell some more stories. I got this photo that I found where I got to show it to you, because you probably going to end up on that project. Hopefully, God willing. It's a photo of me on a church that was off of 54th and Hooper in LA. And it's a church called St. Peter's Rock, and my mama tricked me into getting baptized. I didn't know I was getting baptized that day.
That's funny.
And I walked in there. Look, I told this story. Wait, I'm gonna tell one more time. I walked in, I woke up, mama said, put your basketball shorts on and a white t-shirt. And I said, okay, where we going? She said, don't worry about that. Just get up and go. I said, okay, mama. Mind you, we live next door to the church. It was a house right next door to the church. Go outside the front door. We had the opposite direction to where my mama usually park. I said, mama, why we not going to the car? She said, you asking too many questions. Just follow me. We walk up to the church. Look, I see a red Cadillac. I don't see red Cadillacs that look exactly like this with the white top. I said, that's my grandmama car. I said, Mama, is my grandmama here? She said, if I got to tell you one more time, okay. We start walking towards the front of the church, and it's in every parking space is almost full. I said,
wow.
I'm not asking questions no more. We going to the front of the church. We going to inside the actual church itself. And mind you, this is one of them old school LA churches with the glass. What is it?
Stained glass.
Stained glass.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know why I got goosebumps when I said that. The stained glass, and it was nobody. Look, I could hear people, but it was nobody in the pews. And then we went to a door. And it was a basement, stone floors, and it said, I heard a choir, no music. All I heard was "Wade in the water."
Oh wow, old school
singing it as a choir in perfect unison. My mom
That's
played
old school.
I go downstairs, and it dawned on me, I'm finna get baptized, and I've never even swam underwater yet. The last time I was underwater was when my mama gave birth.
The fact that you think you got to swim is hilarious.
My brain couldn't process any of that. I walked down the aisles. I walked down the aisles. Look, the look that I gave my mom. Well, first of all, I didn't want to give her too much of a look, but the look that I gave my grandmother when I seen her, I said, "You sold me out. You knew this. You knew this whole time that this was gonna happen.
For sure.
You knew the whole time it was gonna happen." And I sat down and I said, well, maybe I can watch somebody else do it before I get my baptism. Nah. Pastor Davis said, Brother Howard, come on down. Let's go ahead and do it.
You said you got a photo?
I'm about to pull this up right now real quick. So I go sit on one of them fold-out chairs, some great fold-out chairs, and I look at my mom.
I don't want to see this. I have to see this.
I gave her a look. I gave her a look. And the look that I gave her was of terror and here it go. Hold on. Here it go. It was terror, and it was also
wrong way. Sorry.
Did it flip?
Hold on, where you go? Where you at?
I'm right here. I'm right here. Hold on. Is it showing? Is it showing?
You got it over your picture. My bad.
Oh, I'm tripping. Oh yeah. No, you good. I got it right here on my screen. You good?
Oh, okay. Well, let me make it bigger then. Oh shoot. I'm new to this, people. Excuse me.
It's all good. It's a split screen.
All right. I'm doing it. Okay, there you go. There it is, right there.
There we go. Right there. The look of sheer terror. And how dare you? How you gonna do this to me, mama? How you gonna do this to me?
Your face, you look mad.
I'm so mad. The fuck, look. It's like
if I was old enough to pay you back, if I was old enough for payback, I would.
If I wasn't afraid of your threats that she used to tell me, she used to say, look, she said, I'll whoop you till I get tired. And I had to calculate that for a second. What does that mean? She got a lot of stamina. She be cleaning the house on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And see, you get tired? That's not an acceptable amount of time for me to understand what this is going to be. Until you get tired? So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, mama was different. So that was my baptism. But I want to use that as a cover, and I'm gonna just do it. When rappers like go through like a crazy drug binge, and all of a sudden they pop back up with their government name as an album.
Right. Yeah.
Not because I went
first name.
Not because it's just gonna be Dewan. It's gonna be Dewan album. Dewan. I feel like it's time for that album.
Something happened to me? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. But no, okay, that's my story. That's my story. I had to get it out. It'd be an honor to have you on that because I think a lot of the stories are gonna align with just where I'm at in life. One thing I don't want to do is tell stories. Like I don't want to be the old guy in a club that don't know I'm the old guy in the club.
Man, that's awkward. And not that it's me, but I've seen it.
Drake has figured it out.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Oh, where's your papocito? I want to give you my numero. Give me a hug, baby. Give me a hug. He don't even know.
And see these DMs. We better hope these DMs ain't true because it's a lot of freaky business going on in there too.
You know what my tinfoil hat say? I'm a little afraid to say this. You know what my tinfoil hat say?
What's that?
I think that's UMG messing with them. I think they like, don't forget we got access to everything. Who you suing, boy? Do you know who we are?
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Exactly. You know what we did to people before you?
For real? You heard of Prince and Michael Jackson? What you think, man? Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. I'm just going at you. But no, I do appreciate you for having me on, man. It's an honor to talk to this. Anytime I'm here. And I'm y'all make sure if you're not subscribed, there's no reason why you shouldn't be subscribed right now.
Please subscribe
to the channel, hit the like button and all that good stuff, man. I'm grateful to be here at this stage of the journey because I just know they in for a treat, man. It's a lot of gems that this brother has for you, and I'm grateful that y'all get to experience it too.
And thank y'all, like I said, thank y'all for coming out, and thank y'all for sitting up and really diving in with us with these conversations. And we appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to having really cool conversations like this. And I can't wait to do my next one. I can't wait to go live again, bro. I'm just excited about the possibilities of what this can be. And I'm comfortable in this space at home. I need to build it out too. Mind y'all, look, don't trip on my background. I know me and Curtis' background look completely different. That's a more advanced.
Hey, bro, I looked at a video I did not even a year ago. I was like, I said, whose trap house was I in? I had this on the wall. I put this on the wall thinking this is going to change everything. We know the little design. And I had this wall was bare and with no light.
That's why I got to, once I start getting my stuff together, I'm going to change all this. I mean, first of all, I'm in my son's room. Let me start there. My son's room, little corner of my son's room. So I'm gonna change it all up. I'm gonna get it real nice. It's gonna be desk and lights and stuff. But I'm just getting my feet wet now, and I'm getting used to the things. I'm gonna learn how to do this thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to have fun, dope conversations. I want somebody to be like, "Damn, that was dope. Y'all did your thing." So I'm just excited to be in this space now.
Come on,
doing this now. So
all I know is this right here already sounds better. And looks better than my first 200 videos off the iPhone 6. You kind of blessed to be starting at this time. I had an iPhone 5 or whatever, and I was like, and I was bad. I was like, hello.
Right.
And producers. Today, I want to tell you about the first time I was in a studio session with Kendrick. Like, you don't want to hear that. Hey, I ain't all time nobody.
I knew you about to say it, bro. I never all time nobody. But yeah, man, I'm now I gotta do. Oh, I'm gonna keep the thumbnail half. So I'm gonna keep the thumbnail half because I gotta work on that part. I tried to do another thumbnail from Canva, and it told me it was too big for my other YouTube video. So I gotta learn how to resize. There's a bunch of stuff I gotta do, bro.
Save it to JPEG. Save it as JPEG, and then you can do 1920 by 1080. That's what I've been doing to get the high resolution.
1920 by 1080. Yeah. Good game right there. Okay, 1920 by 1080. Okay.
Don't put the quality all the way to 100. Leave it at 80.
Okay.
Can't tell the difference. But yeah, man.
Okay. I'm learning.
You already got emojis in here. I didn't have emojis until the first 700 videos. you got a good lucky emoji. Wasn't nobody putting no crowns in the damn chat for me.
That's not what you start with.
That's what you start with. You talking about?
No, I think that's not.
What is it?
That's right. I like that though. That's dope.
How you start off with emojis? You know how long I had to wait to get emojis? We just figured it out. Oh, we DIYers. I guess we use a hammer and a wrench. Huh? Oh, okay. But I started back in my day. Back in my day, we didn't even have emojis in the chat.
Back in my day,
there wasn't even emojis in the chat. No, I'm excited for you, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. I'm gonna be tapping in. Hey, okay, let's do this right now. When do you want to do Flocation?
I generally do them on Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. I might be doing one this Tuesday with Mick Jenkins. He's fought.
Okay. So Wednesday or Thursday? Maybe Thursday.
Thursday. Wait. Hold on. Let me double check.
Yeah, because don't be just
wife be like, you did what?
Right. Exactly.
What on what? What you? Thursday works for me.
What time?
I hit you, but likely I want to get you out here before traffic. So likely probably like around I say
What time I
one.
came last time?
We might have did like early in the day. It was like 1 or 2.
About the same kind of time for
Yeah,
traffic. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be good, and then that way we get to chopping it up, and then by the time we finish, it'll be time for it to go live. It's a lot easier to set it up upstairs than it is downstairs. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Okay. So let's do. If anything change, first of all, I got to talk to my wife too. So if anything changed, then I will change it. But it's definitely getting done. That's my word. So we'll do that. We'll lock in and do that.
I'm not concerned about the if you just told me it's not a matter of if but when.
Yeah, it's when at this point. I think that's gonna be super fun. I can't wait to be a part of that. That's gonna be dope.
If Kendrick taught us anything, delayed gratification is a good thing. So I'm all right.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I am not gonna be on your phone with voice notes like,
right.
Nah. You said we doing flow. No, nope.
Right.
Get what you asked for, but no, I appreciate you. I don't know if you want to chop it up with the community while you still got them here, but man, salute. I'm about to finally go get a pair of black shoes for whatever reason.
Hey man, cool. Just don't make them. As long as they're not Air Force Ones. Do you think?
I don't think that in my life.
I'm gonna worry about you.
Why in energy that brings towards my attention?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't need that.
Right. I'm gonna say you're better than that. So
yeah, and plus I don't like the way they feel around. I'm gonna get something that
for sure.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, man, you have an amazing one, bro. Thank you.
My man, you too, man. Be cool, man.
You too. Peace.
Peace. Hey, you guys, I do want to say once again, thank y'all for stopping by. I would love to see you all again. So I'd be super dope if y'all subscribe to my page because why not? Like, I think I'll be able to do some cool things here. I'll bring some cool friends along. Curtis is one of those friends, and I got many other cool friends. And I think I want to create a space where we just do dope things, have dope conversations, and don't sell the public short. I'm not here to sell you short on any information or anything I decide to put out on this page. So I'm learning also. So just know that. Know that if you subscribe to my page, there's going to be some videos that I'm learning some things. I'm figuring it out. But trust me, if you stand down with me the whole time, it's going to be greater later when I completely blossom. First of all, you never heard a 45-year-old rapper from Watts say the word blossom when referring to himself. I want to say I'm the first on record, and I'm still manly about it too. So I can do that. So, but I appreciate y'all coming by, man. And like I said, subscribe. Hope y'all like the video. Please subscribe to the video, and I'll be seeing y'all soon. I think I'm gonna go live tomorrow. Weekend. I don't know. I might go live tomorrow. I don't know, but just be tapping in. I'm gonna tap in with y'all. I thank y'all, and God bless, because this was super, super dope. And I appreciate all of you guys. So, peace.